Okay, folks, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be, what am I going to be today? I guess I'll be your friendly, I don't know, Overwatch master? What am I going to call it? I don't know. This whole session has fallen apart because I don't have a clever name for Game Master in this one. But tonight, we were down, we had scheduled another session of Dangerous Journeys, and then just as we got closer and we kind of found that it was only going to be Jeff and myself, I came up with, I used the excuse that I'd have Friday off to put together a session set in the world of one of my favorite video games, Blizzard Entertainment's Overwatch. Now, with me tonight to join me on this mission, or this adventure that I'm calling the Brotherhood of Iron, is Jeffrey, a luminary of the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel.
Everybody, I'm Jeff, and tonight I'm going to be playing Gabriel Reyes.
Yes.
Also known as the Reaper.
Yes. So, for those who may be, let's just go through the system we're using tonight, I should say, is called Genesys. The Genesys RPG is the, I've got the, where's my core book? Here we go. It is the generic version, or the, what do you call it, multi-genre or genre-free version of the Star Wars mechanic. Any of the Fantasy Flight games that were published by, or Star Wars Fantasy Flight games. Anna, come on, honey. Jeez Louise. Anna's very excited for this session. She's a big Overwatch fan as well. What they've done is, so the Genesys game has a set of generic mechanics where it adapts the core mechanic from the Fantasy Flight Star Wars games, but allows you to run any kind of setting you want with it. It's very much in the vein, or at least trying to be in the vein of like Savage Worlds or Hero System or GURPS or things like that. The specific set of rules, the character that Jeff's playing tonight is something that I have built using some rules I found, but the author has himself credited, or themselves credited, as Koalan, and I've got a link down below to their Twitter link, but there's this, and I've got a link to this as well. It is a full set of rules for character creation for Overwatch. There aren't the, the actual characters from the video game or from the, supporting comics and whatnot that are in there, but what is in here is this phenomenal adaptation of the setting of Overwatch to play with the Genesys rules, and complete with building an ultimate for your character in a custom way, building your weaponry customly, building your armor in a custom way, as well as designing your character and whatnot. So it's a really, really impressive piece of design work, and you can find a link to both a Twitter handle. The author of this does make some other stuff as well too, but at the time of recording, he's only got about 70 followers on Twitter. So if you definitely want to go and check him out and follow him, to encourage him to do more work on this, or perhaps see if there's other things he did. The designer did a fantastic job on this, and you can find a link down to the PDF down below as well too. There's a collection of that if you want to check it out. It is the only complete build your own character version of an Overwatch RPG I have found thus far, because it's something I've been looking for a couple of years. Now, Jeff and I are old hats at Genesys, or at least the Fantasy Flight Star Wars system, because we played this for quite some time, right up until it was the game we were playing when we first launched the channel, however many years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. But it's been a while since we've been back, so we may screw some things up. Do forgive us if that's the case. And Jeffrey, we talked about this beforehand. You're not familiar with the setting of Overwatch, apart from having watched a couple of the cinematics at some point.
That is correct. I have not played the video game, but Blizzard makes excellent cinematics, and just being a fan of that kind of stuff, I have watched quite a few of them.
Nice. So let's go to the... we've had a discussion beforehand. For those who are joining us live, I apologize for the semi-late start. We were just going through to refresh our memories of everything. Now, we had potentially having other players tonight, so I've got 3 characters together, but Jeff's going to be playing Gabriel Reyes, a.k.a. Reaper. If you're not familiar with the setting of Overwatch, you can think of it as a near future sort of superhero, sort of cyberpunk, sort of space opera type setting. It has things you might recognize from kind of G.I. Joe-ish, where there's like a team of special individuals who are put together, and there's a Nemesis team that is very similar as well. But it definitely has some very light cyberpunk qualities to it, in the sense that there are political issues and political challenges that they address, and political topics that they address in the comics and the fiction and whatnot. At the time of our session, we are this I should say is about 10 years before the events of the game, a little more than that. At the time, this is after something called the Omnic Crisis. And the Omnic Crisis was this catastrophic war between humanity and artificial intelligence and artificial life that ended in a big part thanks to the heroics of Overwatch and the global struggle against these factories that were churning these things out. Our session takes place in the time afterwards, where a peace has been reached between them, and depending on the nation, there are different places that are trying to live in harmony with the Omnics, which is the common phrase that's used for the for the non-human life forms that now populate a good chunk of the globe. At the time, for those who are fans of Overwatch, this will be taking place before the events in Venice with Blackwatch. There's a pretty key in-game event that you can play through, and then there's some great there's a great comic and a great short story. And I think there's a cinematic as well about that whole mission, where things kind of start falling apart for Overwatch, or at least that's where some track it from. But that is in the future. At present, Reyes, you are the commander of the Blackwatch team, the kind of secret, Black Ops version of Overwatch. Overwatch, having been formed to fight during and sort of try and defeat the Omnics during the Omnic Crisis, they did find themselves in a bit of an unusual position afterwards. It's rarely a good thing to have, your military be the same thing as your police force. And when Overwatch was formed, it was formed as a military unit, really adjacent to the UN. So finding the right balance and place for Overwatch, and in particular Blackwatch, afterwards has been challenging. So that's sort of where you can find yourselves right now. Let's quickly talk about your character sheet. We went through some of the basics of like how to make dice rolls and stuff like that, and we've got the Roll20 has some really great sheets for Genesys, as they do for the Fantasy Flight Star Wars games. But this one has a couple of things. We'll just go through the abilities that you've got. These are all talents, or they are abilities from your archetype. Your big guns ability is just a background thing. You don't really need to worry about that. It means that you can carry around 2 giant fuck-off shotguns and not worry about suffering, slowing down because of encumbrance. Defensive, likewise, is a passive thing. This increases your melee and range defense. What that means, the defense, is that I add setback or black dice to attacks on you. When I'm trying to attack you, you're, you may notice you have the highest defense of everyone. That's because when you are in combat, you're also sort of surrounded by smoke and stuff. For those who may be Overwatch purists too, it was really hard for me to figure out what Reyes's abilities actually are at this time. It's not clear. There is, those who are fans of it will know that there was changes that were made to Reyes by Moira after the events that led to the fall of Overwatch. But I've just chosen to give him all the abilities that he's got in the game. So that's where we are now. Dual wield, we talked about offline. That's the ability to use a maneuver to reduce the difficulty of your next combined check, which you can use both shotguns. Fearsome 2, when an opponent becomes engaged with you, so when you're in melee distance with you, they have to make a fear check because you are scary as hell.
Nice.
You've got Guns Blazing. We talked about that as well, too. That's one of your neat abilities where you can spend strain to, increase your chances with hitting. You've got a cool ability called Heroic Recovery that is linked to your Cunning attribute. Once per encounter, you can spend 1 story point to heal 4 strain. So if you don't want to spare threat, you can just, boom, do that. That is not an incidental. You can just do that for free. Lucky Break, once per session, you can spend and we've said today that we're going to do that loud because you're the only one playing. We'll allow you to do this twice. Lucky Break, twice per session, spend a story point to re-roll a failed roll, and then also add a boost or blue dice to the results. You've got Precision, again, a background one that just allows you to use your Cunning stat. It's like, Weapon Finesse in D&D. Quick Draw, once per round, you may draw or holster a weapon or item as an incidental. This allows you in one round with one maneuver to get both your shotguns out. And as a reminder, you can spend 2 strain to take a second maneuver in a round. So if you, say, wanted to do your dual-wield guns blazing stuff, you're going to take some strain doing that stuff, but you're free to do that. Spare clip. If you roll a despair on your roll, it doesn't mean you're out of ammo. You got plenty of stuff. You can see he's got that bandolier of crap around him, too. So that is sort of reflecting that. And then you've also got this ability called Years on the Force. Once per session, you may collect a small favor from a current or former member of a location's law enforcement. I think rules is written, you're supposed to pick like a specific location, but because it's a globe-trotting thing, each session you've got a contact you can call on, someone you've met over the course of your things. The reason he's got that is because he used to be a Detroit City police officer before he joined the military. Cool. Gabriel Reyes was part of the Overwatch version of the Super Soldier program. He's one of the ones that was chemically and whatnot enhanced beforehand, and then he was further altered when this very unorthodox doctor and research scientist joined, named Moira, whose code name is Moira. She joined and further altered Reyes, which gives him the current state of his abilities. After the events, 10 years from now, there will be another change that leaves him even more damaged and furious. That's all your abilities. So those are your things. So like I said, a lot of them, there's a lot on the character sheet, but a lot of them sit in the background. A couple of them will come up regularly, and then some of them are just sort of things that we often, you may be familiar with doing in other games we play with your narrative metacurrency. Any questions? Oh, and then you got your ultimate. We've talked about how you charge up your ultimate. Any questions about Captain Reyes?
The only question I have is, you said you can hold 5 charge, and it costs 3 to do your ultimate.
Yes,
but you need to have 4 to do it.
Nope, you just need to have 3.
Oh, okay.
Costs 3 to do it. You can also spend charge to do your the thing that your armor has.
Yeah, my smoke armor.
Yeah, like there's certain talents you can select that spend charge, and there's certain like weapon or armor abilities that require charge to activate. So it's sort of I'm interested to see how it plays out. Like it seems like it's going to be a cool kind of like a cool decision where you're like, do I make use of this lesser ability here, or do I wait until I safely have, for the more impatient players. You can see how they'd be blown through that shit quite regularly,
Yeah.
But the more, cautious ones are going to wait till it ticks up to 3 and then sit on it. But it's neat that you could get 5 strain and then get it. You can get 1 charge. So, and that's not restricted to once per time. You could take 10 strain and give yourself 2 charge. So if you've all got 1, but you need to get that Death Blossom off, that's what you could do.
Okay, yeah.
If you exceed your strain threshold, this is a refresher from before, then you are incapacitated. We make narrative sense of whatever that means, if it's unconscious or distracted or whatever.
Right.
If your wound threshold is exceeded, you start taking critical hits. We make a roll in the critical hit table, and then you start suffering critical effects. But the critical effects aren't as debilitating in this as they are in other games. Like, you can be a walking wounded character. We rarely saw that happen in our Star Wars games all that much, but you can actually be pretty beaten up in this game and not be dead. You also have, there are things called painkillers in this that I'm going to assume you have at least 5 of them. What you can do for them is, the first one you administer restores 5 wounds. Second one in the day restores 4. Third one restores 3, and so on until it's just
like they're less effective. Yeah,
exactly. It's like a biotic field. Medical science has advanced to the point where you can't just do the generic healing potion kind of stuff in Overwatch. Otherwise, I mean, anything that you think would be making sense. You're a member of an elite, special forces kind of team. I'm not really concerned about whether you got to change your clothes or whatnot. We can sort of figure out what would be appropriate for your character, gear-wise, otherwise, beyond the things that are, you need to sort of figure out, like your signature armor, your signature weapons.
Right. Cool.
Okay. All right. So our scene. Oh, we gotta quickly. I was looking up to see how we do story points, because you may remember you rolled dice in. What do you call it? Star Wars. You roll those Destiny dice to see what...
Oh, right, to see how many you started with.
Yeah. I just want to see how many points you're supposed to start with. Sorry, folks, I was going to watch this, or check this before we went live, and then I got distracted, because I'm pretty excited for this session. Let's see here. Despair, experience and development, skills, gear... Where are you here? Oh, it's probably under other key elements. All right. Story points. Here we go. So story points can be spent. Give a helping hand. You can boost before your dice roll. You got some special character abilities you can spend it on as well. But before you make your dice roll, you can get one free upgrade. What an upgrade does is it either makes a green dice yellow, or it makes if you have all yellow dice, it adds another green dice in. If I have, you can also spend it to make things more challenging for NPCs. So it just does the reverse. It makes a purple dice into a red, or it adds an extra purple dice. The reds are only where you see the the despairs show up. So normally, if it's an uncontested check, you're only rolling against purples unless I'm, spending story points. Because with the way it works is that when you spend one, I turn it over and I can use it, and then I can use it, and so forth.
Right, they go back and forth.
Yeah. You can also use it to edit the scene. So make things more difficult for me, easier for you, edit a scene, or make use of some of your abilities. You can only spend one per roll, though. And I can do one as well. So we can always do... But, I mean, I'm going to try and refrain from... I'm not going to constantly go back and forth with, you're going to raise it. But I want you to feel free to return that, though. If I've made something more difficult, so there's a red in there, in your dice roll, you feel free to spend a point to upgrade if you feel you need to. Let's see here. And the starting point, each pool, 1 point to the player pool for each player, and then the GM adds 1 story point to the GM pool. So let's do this. I think I'm going to give you 2 to start with here. You have 2. I have 1. Let me...
And then I can just click the sync button, right?
Okay. Yeah, I hit force player update. So I think, does yours show 2 in players, 1 in DM now?
No, I think I have to click this thing. There we go. Now it does.
Now it does. Okay, great. All right. I'm going to clear the dice pool. Alrighty. So then we are good to go. Then let's start our session. So our session starts with the sound of blood and gunfire. What you can see before you are Bastion units, one of the more common units that were cranked out. They are basically mobile cannons. Think of like a Gatling gun combined with a mortar that can easily pick itself up, and while doing so, can carry around a heavy machine gun, like a heavy caliber machine gun, to fire at range. They are one of the more terrifying units. The scene that you can see before you can picture that Reyes, you were on the battlefield, hunkered down behind, with a bunch of African Union troopers, and there are explosions coming from all around you. The Bastions were the most common, but you can see moving behind there are the enormous tank-like ones. things that almost deafen you when those massive cannons fire. Explosions are going around you. You can't see it because of the debris and the battlefield, terrain, or the battlefield haze. But the sounds of men and women dying at the feet of these things, and the clank of the oncoming bastions and the rolling of their horrific treads tells you that your time may be short. And it's at that you're jerked awake. And you can see you're actually sitting in a passenger plane. And there is a air stewardess dressed in the customary, kind of African-styled or influenced uniform of Numbani Air, the airline that specifically services Numbani, the nation built in central sub-Saharan Africa. It's kind of like a little south of Nigeria, north of the Congo. It's like the DC. I say it's like the setting is very much like comic type stuff because it has like fictional cities and fictional settings, very much like Gotham City and whatnot.
Right.
Numbani was built up in the ashes of the destruction of the Omnic crisis to be a place where humans and Omnics could live in harmony. And the city, this amazing thing you can see out your window that's before you, that is the result of their efforts. And I think looking down, maybe you were dwelling on your last time that you were in the region, but I'm not sure that you've been back here since the Omnic crisis ended. So the stewardess says, "I'm sorry, sir, we're coming in for a landing at the airport. Would you kindly buckle your seatbelt?"
Yeah, of course.
And she points to like 4 empty whiskey little things. Can I remove those as well?
Go ahead.
She tosses the things in there. Tell me how are you feeling flying into this thing? I'll tell you why you're coming here in a moment, but how does Reyes feel coming in solo into back into a place where your former enemies and the people you were fighting to protect are now trying to live together?
I think that he probably feels a little bit vulnerable. I mean, he's been used to working on a team the last few years, but I think that maybe he also feels a little bit of freedom because he's able to sort of deal with the business the way he wants to, with sort of no oversight, no one looking over his shoulder or second guessing the methods he uses.
Yeah.
I know you've talked how this character is a good guy at this point, but he becomes a bad guy. So I'm assuming that he's got some character conflict throughout the storyline of the game. So I sort of imagine that sometimes his methods are not the ones that the rest of the Overwatch team would have.
Most definitely. And that at some point will be his downfall. But one of the things that you can do in the game as well is in place of the sort of the obligation or force and destiny kind of stuff, there's actually, you pick out 4 personality traits for your character, and I there's not a specific mechanic that interacts with them apart from very loosely the social kind of scene rules. But one of the things that you pick is like your strength and your flaw and your desire and your, I can't remember what the other one is, but anger, I think, is his flaw, because it's just this, things aren't clean, like it's not done, right? Like you can't just be like, and now we're able to go on.
Right. So I think that that's sort of how he's feeling is, a mix of being vulnerable because he is by himself, but the the freedom to sort of do things his own way and not worry about anyone else.
Let me show you the what your recent, what you sort of had on your, like, you know, your phone or whatever, and that would be an older news story from Numbani Airport when now this technically takes place quite some time in the future, but I think it gives you a good idea of a couple of things. For one, this is one of the times when Doomfist attacked. And at the time, I think this is when it is the warlord, the guy before the current crime lord. So that's one thing, is like Doomfist, he is the one who's responsible for planting that massive, 9-foot tall Omnic into the wall. The other thing that this tells you is that you can see the OR-15. One of the things that you've heard Numbani has done is they have a whole series of basically like security droids or security Omnics that they make use of. Repurposed things that you fought during the war. So that's where your thought is as you're coming into the Numbani airport. Let me tell you why you're here. So you mentioned that you like kind of doing things out from, the supervision of others, and that's not wrong. As the head of Blackwatch, Overwatch's secret kind of, special operations or Black Ops kind of unit, you're used to dealing with things when, you don't have to run it past your supervisors. You just, you are trusted to have a degree of autonomy. In some cases, that's when you're given the parameters of your mission and then you go and do them. But sometimes you can't trust other people to collect the intel for you. So you need to make sure you have a network that you can rely on. One member of that network is a man named Eckert Chapman. Eckert Chapman is he was a British soldier who came to serve with Overwatch. He's also of German descent. And Eckert Chapman he proved himself to be a great kind of man about, town. He has been active in Numbani. And the reason he is there is because you just, some may call it a character flaw. Others may call it being appropriately careful. But this whole Omnics and humans thing's getting along, it just seems too fucking good to be true. So you've had Chapman looking in to see if there's anything in the shadows of those shiny, bright towers they've built up that may be an issue that, if not Overwatch, that Blackwatch needs to deal with. At the time of our adventure that while most of the Omnic threat has either been defeated or has gone into remission, Korea still regularly faces massive threats, huge Omnics that crawl out of the ocean and attack them, almost like Pacific Rim style. So the threat is not gone. It has just maybe sleeping, and whether it's sleeping here is something you needed to know. Chapman did find something, and he reported through coded channels and secure channels and whatnot. He's given you some information. What he's told you is that there is something called the Ndugu Wachuma. Ndugu Wachuma is, and again, I apologize if my Google Translate has got this wrong. It translates roughly from Swahili to English as Brotherhood of Iron or Brotherhood of Steel. There are graffiti markings that are showing up in some of the less affluent regions of Numbani, and there's rumblings about it. There's also a name that you have, a name that he has yet, or at least was tracking down, named Joko 10. I'll put that in your chat for you. Joko 10 is said to be the Omnic, who's either the leader or some way makes, calls or makes shots calls for the Undugu Wachuma. The last thing you got was a name, Samira. And as far as you can tell, you don't know where, if it's a place or a person. The only thing you know is that Samira can be an Arabic name. It's a woman's name that refers to. I'm going to go close my drapes in a second here because she's too worked up. It's getting nighttime and she's getting too worked up. It translates to night companion or nighttime conversationalist. He has gone missing. He has been missing now for 2 days, and that's long enough.
Eckhart has been missing for 2 days?
Eckhart has been missing for 2 days.
Okay.
He did not deliver a full contact, full status of his investigation to you because, you need to be secure with these things. And in a high-tech region like Numbani, it can be, who knows who's listening. But what you have in place is a contingency so that if you don't hear from him, there's a drop box, which is a hotel. There's basically a rolling reservation that's been made in one of the... No part of Numbani is really shitty, but it's the, even in the glitziest, most impressive city, the most egalitarian, there's always going to be rough parts. And it's a hotel that's been made in there. The reservation keeps getting pushed back, unless you need it. So you're expecting that when you arrive at Numbani, make your way to this hotel, check in. There may be some information for you waiting. And then you can go about seeing what happened to Eckhart.
Do I have a last known location or anything for him?
You do not. He was staying in he's staying in some, personal residence. He's the kind of guy he's sort of the guy who can go in, blend anywhere, make friends. He's the guy you send. Yeah. He's a good one to have on the ground because he's easy to make friends and it's hard for him to make enemies usually.
Yeah.
Unless they really know the full picture. So he's normally quite good at this, and he's done this in a number of different places. So for Eckhart to go missing here is concerning. And he would check in. There would be contingencies in place. As far as the network, the internet and whatnot is still very much a thing here too. So any type of internet search or whatnot that you think you could do here, you can do in the Overwatch setting as well. It's just hacking is also a lot more advanced with some hackers being able to just make use of rigs. It's more of this is where the cyberpunk thing comes in.
Right.
They can not only hack, it's a very multi-wired world as well too. So everything will have some kind of what do you call it? Wireless connection, which leaves itself vulnerable if you know how to properly hack it. So that is what you were flying into. Anything you think that Captain Reyes would have done before he arrived, before he set out? We can certainly do a flashback for any kind of preparations. You have already had your weaponry, your guns are set ahead, your armor has been set ahead. It will arrive separately as freight. You don't need to collect it or anything. It'll be waiting for you at your hotel.
Okay. Trying to think if there's anything you would have done beforehand, or if it's more like boots on the ground and that's part of the reason he's flying in is because there's not a lot he can do from a distance. Yeah, I don't have any specific thought of anything he would have done to prepare.
Okay.
Maybe arranged for a vehicle so that he doesn't have to rely on like a cab or something.
Sure. What kind of vehicle? So in Overwatch, hover technology is ubiquitous. So, even junkers that you'd see in farms and stuff like that. Fusion technology has advanced in this setting to the point where it is anybody can access it, either fusion or solar power. So, you can see, rickety old hover buses in developing countries, or in the backwoods of, the U.S.
Yeah.
So it could be a hover bike, could be a hover car, a sports car kind of thing. Could be
I imagine him more in something like a pickup truck style, like something that's like got a little bit of toughness to it if needed,
like a hover Range Rover.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah,
totally.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So and that's certainly something you can pick up at the Numbani airport, and there'll be like onboard GPS and all the other stuff that you would need for it. The hover vehicle, you can see, we sort of cut to see you approaching Numbani itself. You're probably in one of those vehicles, that we can see above. And there are still folks who live, traditional lifestyle, as you can see down here.
Yeah.
And you are land down in a Numbani airport. I could not find a picture, like concept art of the Numbani airport. I could find the in-game stuff because there is a one of the maps. You actually start in the Numbani airport. That illustration you see with the thing in the side? That's what the Numbani welcoming area is.
Cool.
Yeah. So you arrive and you disembark, and it's a mix of humans from all over the place. Numbani is going through a bit of a golden age right now. So people from all over the world are quite happy to come in. You can hear, dozens of different languages being spoken by the people as they're going to collect their luggage and whatnot. I'm guessing that since your luggage, at least the important shit, will be waiting for you, let me put your token over here too, sorry.
I feel like Gabriel is very no nonsense, and he's the kind of person that you see moving very quickly and methodically through a public space like the airport, straight from his gate to the car rental thing. Okay. So there's once or twice where a couple's trying to there's a mixed omnic and human couple who are kind of and they kind of hug, and then they try to move and and you stalk past them. You head on up to the rental space, and you can see that there is a omnic man who is looking down at. To give you an idea, the omnics have this neat thing in the game where there's sort of your bog standard stock omnic head, which looks kind of like that, but then a lot of them will add on different accoutrements to accessorize to give it the appearance of a mustache or a beard or hair or whatever. Right, to give themselves a bit of a look.
Yeah, exactly. So this is we talked before we went live about Bob. This is one of the characters from the game. This is Bob the butler, and as you can see, he's got that robo honey drip mustache on him.
Yeah, and the little bowler hat.
Yeah, he wears a little bowler hat. In the cinematic, it's great because there's a tense standoff between the a high noon kind of thing, and it cuts to Bob very briefly, and you see a little streak of oil go down his head, perspiration.
Yeah, nice.
It's really well done. So this guy looks up at you and kind of sir, I'm sorry, sir, can I help you?
Here to pick up my vehicle.
Oh, regular viewers will know too. I love doing accents. I'm not doing any African accents in this session. No. So he looks up and okay. And what was your name, sir?
Reyes.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's get some dice rolling because I want to see if we get some despairs going here.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how I feel even dealing with them all the time, if there's always a bit of trepidation,
Yeah, because one interesting thing, I'm not aware, and I could be wrong with this, but I'm not aware of any Omnic member of Overwatch during the Omnic crisis. There may very well be after the crisis, there was a like second generation. The creator of the Omnics, this scientist named Dr. Lin, I believe. I got that wrong. She created like a second generation Omnic because, you know, she's a scientist and she couldn't help herself kind of stuff. That character became a, you know, sort of supporting character in the story. But I don't know, you know, so there was sort of technically an Omnic member, but that's after the crisis, I believe. In any event, that's definitely it. Let's do this. Let's use cool. And I think this is only this would normally be an easy task, but let's get some stuff going here. I'm going to raise that to a red dice. Unless you've got anything else you want to do or anything to change, just give us a cool check here.
No, I'll just roll it.
Okay.
Cool.
Nice. So you got a success and a threat.
Oh.
Nice. Okay.
Wait, threat is the bad one?
Threat is the bad one, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Is where, so threat is those things, and then the symbol for despair, if there's an X through it, that's where it'll be a despair. A triumph. In Star Wars, it was easier to see because it was just like, you know, the Rebel Alliance symbol, or, you know.
Okay, so now you spend it. So you can give me one strain.
Yeah, or I can, I think I'm going to use it for something a little different.
Yeah, okay.
So then, or maybe, yeah, why don't we, well, no, because, I mean, at the end of the scene, you're going to be able to recover strain anyway, so it's not really anything interesting that happens with that.
Yeah, right.
So I think what happens instead is he says, oh, yes, we've got, no, I'm, we have that here, too, and whatever your fake, would you be traveling under Reyes, or would you think of a fake name?
I don't know. I don't think I would use a fake name because.
So here's one of the interesting things that to add into your role playing for this too. Reyes was the head of Overwatch, but the thing is that there's that Morrison character that I mentioned before. The guy who became Soldier 76. He was more of the moral center of the team and became, at the end of it, he became the, I think they call it Strike Captain. Strike Captain Morrison became the face of Overwatch. The statue they built for Overwatch is of him, not of you. And you sort of faded into the background.
Yeah. But I think that I think I like the slight intimidation maybe that comes with being noticed of who I am. I don't think it's, I don't think he's like stealthy in that way. I think he's more like, I want them to know who I am because maybe they'll, you know,
absolutely
respect it or be afraid of it.
Yep. Okay. So what he says? Oh, all right. I we have that for you, Mr. Reyes, and that. Yes, and that is. You're familiar with hover cycles? Yes.
It's not supposed to be a cycle.
Well, no, I've got
all you have.
Your reservation was for a hover cycle. We have one waiting for you. And he puts he puts down a tablet, and there's like a hover or a hollow form that shows up. Again, like light technology is quite advanced here. If you could just add your signature, and he points at it right in here. He's ignored you, or at least not heard you about saying that this wasn't.
I just signed for it, and I just move along. Like I said, efficiency is sort of key, and so whatever.
And if I could, if you could place your phone down for a moment.
Yeah, I'll pull it out.
He hits some things, and there you are. The vehicle will start from your phone. We have a shuttle leaving from there. Enjoy, and welcome to Numbani. I'm smiling, he's not, but there's sort of, you know, his body language
version
reads,
of a smile.
Yeah, it's, you know, like when sometimes in animated things, or like with puppets, people over animate, you know, like they're over gesture and whatnot to try and really sell things. I feel that like Omnics might do a bit of that because they don't have facial expressions, so like the body language is a little wider and more, you know, broader than what you would expect from someone who could convey stuff with just facial expressions.
I scowl at him. Okay. And I definitely think, you know, like if this interaction had a tip, there'd certainly be none involved. You know?
Nice. All right. It is a short time before you wait at the stop for some of your, with some other tourists who are picking up their vehicles as well. There's an illustration from one of the comics that gives a really good sense of sort of like the streets of Numbani are like. So it's lush with vegetation, really, a strong kind of almost like Wakanda kind of vibe to it with this Afrofuturism feel to the setting. And when you head out from here, did I load it? Yeah, I mean, you'll be passing through. It is a very, very high-tech city, and it's very busy. Even the airport itself, it's located fairly close to downtown, and you end up with a pretty chatty, little display on. There's like holo displays on the inside of the shuttle, telling you all about all the different things you can visit in Numbani. Anything that's going through your mind, or anything you're doing, as you're brought out to pick up this thing.
I feel like, he's just annoyed at all of this, like just sort of traveling as a sort of a normal citizen, riding a shuttle. I imagine he's like standing, he tries to like pick a spot and stand and like not be around people, and it fills up, and he's just being crowded into. And like I think it's just sort of a like
this sort of slightly heavy, father of three Canadian steps on your foot by accident. Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Forgive me.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I don't know, the annoyance of everyday life, and just sort of like, not being happy, having to deal with this, and thinking, people should be respecting me and giving me my space. And
one thing you're able to do is sort of get the like pre-check-in stuff for your hotel done from your phone, so you're able to at least you should not have to deal with any people when you're checking in.
I think that's probably what he's trying to do at this point. He's just like trying to get everything lined up as much as he can. I maybe even picture like him getting going to like some local grocer or deli or something, and getting like a few bags of groceries or food arranged to be delivered to his room as well, to like not have to think about going to restaurants, or he sort of already had his fill of Joe Public on this little plane ride. And
I mean, Chapman's missing as well too, or Eckert's missing, so I mean, I imagine it's not exactly a vacation that he's on either.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm here on important, Blackwatch business, and you got tourists in your way, basically.
Exactly. So, it's about maybe a 20-minute ride out to the on this hover shuttle. They drop you off at each of your different locations, and what you find waiting for you is actually it's the having access to the enclosed hover Land Rover would be great, but this is not a bad second choice. It's just sturdy little effectively like a hover dirt bike kind of thing that can take a beating. It's not so high performance that if it gets some dust or whatnot in its exhaust, or it gets banged a little too much, it's not going to function anymore. This will be a good getting around bike, particularly if you have to leave the city itself.
Yeah, I think he was looking for the truck because he thought he might be doing some staking of locations, and so it's a little more comfortable to be inside a vehicle, and a little less obvious that you're sitting outside and watching someone when you're out in the open.
Yeah. So one of the things you can take take solace in then is that your the limits on your abilities for your teleportation and for your like smoke form thing, those things are limitations in combat, because like it's a tension of you making use of those resources. Narratively, in the narrative scene, you can do that shit. So like, if your character,
I could just teleport to the top of a edge of a building, or
precisely if you want to fade up there, and then like whatever, like that stuff is completely, if it's not in combat where we're going to want to be keeping track of the balance of the impact of those abilities, it's narrative stuff, so you can feel free to make use of it, just like the magic system in Genesys.
I guess I just I picture the character, I mean, I don't know the character, I'm kind of making up my own stuff for him, but I picture him like not wanting to use those things for those sort of mundane life things, like just like how he's not teleporting through the airport, or he's not, it's like Batman using his like bat
100%
grapple hook to fly up to the top of the building. I'd rather not sort of do the superhero flashy method if I could.
If you could, absolutely. All right, so you arrive, and there are big like heavy, effectively like not saddlebags, but like little canister things on the back. So like this is something you could transport stuff in as well. You sit down, you bring your phone next to it, fire this thing up, and then boom, you are off. There's a trail of dust behind you as you begin careening towards Nimbani. There's a display in the center of it that will holo display that goes up that you can set your destination in, and then you go riding off towards your destination.
I'd like to add, I don't see him just mindlessly driving point A to B here. This would be like, I think he would test this vehicle. He would, see how fast it accelerates, check its top speed, maybe even veer off the road, the main road for a little bit and test it off road. Like he would make sure that he can know what this thing can do in case he's needs it to perform.
Sure. Okay. So we maybe see that same Canadian family, they're all piling into the Land Rover that you were supposed to get. And they're like, oh, this is looking pretty good. Dad's got like a Tilly hat on. I think so, kids. And this thing, goes zipping around, and his hat kind of like spins around on the cord that's on his head, like, oh, jeez. And you head off. No mechanical issues with this thing. This seems like it will perform quite handily, if need be. So after, I think then we will cut to you, pulling up in front of this hotel, which has very, again, like most of the places in Nimbani, it's a technological wonder, but you can't get around the fact that there are some people who are going to be not quite as well off. Everything is going to be automated. Everything is going to be very high tech and whatnot, but either bare bones or subject to vandalism or whatever. Like the place just doesn't look quite as good. And the name of the hotel that Eckert selected as your Dropbox 2 seems to play into the neighborhood, because it is the Jackal's Den. So there are some like Anubis, themed kind of decorations and whatnot as you make your way in. The door is automated, but it kind of sticks a little bit as it opens up. You make your way in, and you see that there is a human who's working behind the desk. It is open, but I mean, this is, in comparison to some of the fancier, ritzier places you've been, this is definitely the like Nimbani equivalent of the Motel 6.
Okay, yeah.
The one thing you have managed to check yourself in, your groceries should have been delivered during the time that you were gone. The only thing that wouldn't have been, unless you asked them to do it, would be anything that Eckert left with the people there.
I guess I could check.
Yep.
I'll still go to the front desk.
In spite of everything being high tech and whatnot, sometimes there's just messages want to be still communicated or packages dropped off, so they still have that kind of like room slot kind of situation here.
So just to clarify at this point in the storyline, Blackwatch would be like an unknown entity. We would still be doing everything publicly as Overwatch, correct?
They would be as Overwatch, yes.
Like if I just for example, like if I was to show credentials or something, it would be Overwatch.
No, you would
Blackwatch.
not want to do that. Blackwatch, nobody knows about Blackwatch. No one
exactly.
Should.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it's right.
Yeah, Overwatch definitely
but
has.
Overwatch is a known thing. Like if I.
Overwatch is absolutely a known thing, but like part of one of the upsides to you not being the face of Overwatch, as it were, is because, or is that like you're easily able to transition into, covert ops without people really knowing, unless they're people who are in that kind of like who are in that world, the espionage world. The average person wouldn't know that you're, Wait, you let Overwatch? Hold on, what about that Morrison guy? I thought he was the one,
I'm just trying to think of like if I have any. So like if a random person, just thinking from like the perspective of the hotel staff, like unless he left a message for Reyes or whatever, it's not like I have any authority for his information or anything about him if he was staying here. Like, and
like this functions as a dead drop for you. It's something that is, it's the way, if there's anything that he had that he couldn't deliver to you over whatever, the sort of like last message, if he went missing, would be in the dead drop. You've had a recurring reservation that keeps getting pushed back, and then if he left, he would be canceled. It's the contingency for if he went missing, for when or if something goes wrong.
Okay, well then I did think of something that I would have pre-done or done when I arrived.
Yep.
I'm sure like most modern societies, most transactions are done digitally, but there is still a currency, a street currency, so to speak. I think that I would have acquired a nice roll of fairly decent bills in whatever the street currency is.
So interesting.
Not a ton of money, but just enough that like if I need to grease some palms, because like that's still like a traditional method. Then
I don't know if there's anything in the fiction otherwise, but I know one of the. I thought it was curious because it just feels really out of place in a like near future setting. But one of the things, one of the cinematics opens with a character having a piece of pie, and then he drops down a coin to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if like there's a couple of ways we could do this, but like rather than having each coin related to a specific amount, I'm wondering whether like you could transfer an amount onto the coin, like a cred stick in Shadowrun, and just drop it down, right? So like there could be an amount on the coin that would be from your digital currency or whatnot, but it's a way almost like trading like phone cards, kind of.
Right, and I think that's just what I'm imagining, because if I don't have a badge or something that I can show people to be like, I'm Overwatch, you got to help me here or listen to me, I'd rather than just do it with money. Like, I mean, money talks, right?
Well, and this again, like this will be expected for you. Like you can go.
No, I understand. In this situation, I don't need to, but it's just something he would have brought
for sure for greasing palms and stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So you got some coins on you that you can have, and they're non-traceable, which is the best kind for the types of people you're going to be dealing with.
Right.
That you're going to want to, go from what do you call it? They can't be linked to a specific digital, account.
Right. Cool.
So yeah. All right, so you walk in, and then there is, it's a probably a middle-aged, looks like an African native, like a black man with a very nice suit on, who seems to be idly, watching something on his some kind of like display or something. The holo display is up, and he's watching probably like a football game or something.
What time of day? Like we're in the evening now?
It's probably. I mean, like, with the speed you're going, what time of day do you think you would arrive? I'm fine with any. This could have been daybreak. It could have been sunset.
Yeah, like we could just change it to be whatever. Like, because I think he would have left as soon as he realized he had to get there.
Yep.
Maybe, yeah. So maybe he took the overnight flight. Maybe it is sort of first thing in the morning. Okay. That's part of the reason he was sleeping on the plane.
Yeah. So you Yeah, so
Or it's early in the morning. It's like
Yeah.
getting to be noon now.
So getting to be noon, and I mean, like the requirements of the front desk staff are likely pretty lax. Setting aside the shitty service you expect to get from the Jackal's Den, this guy seems to be watching, a football game going on. Doesn't even seem to track that you've walked into the foyer. There's a
Good
small.
afternoon.
Looks up. Oh. And he hits a button and it pauses whatever he's watching. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the Jackal's Den. He says it in a way that he's sort of like, you think that he's testing you, because he says welcome. He doesn't recognize you, probably doesn't interact with a lot of guests, but he doesn't see you have any stuff on you. Right? Because you don't have any luggage with you, right?
Right,
So,
totally.
Is there something I can help you with?
Yeah. You got any messages for Reyes?
For Mr. Reyes, yes.
Yes.
And he hits a button or two, and the screen with the football game on it kind of goes away, and then he looks back in. Yes, you're in 612. Let me check for you. I do. We do have something for you. Just give me a moment, sir. And he hits a button and goes back to the display of the football game. He steps into the office right behind the desk, comes back, and there is a folded envelope, which is a very uncommon thing. Like, if you're sending something by mail in this world, it's a real unusual event. It's something you've intentionally decided to do.
Right.
And he says, "Oh, this, sir," and you can see even at a glance the name, Reyes is written on the outside of it, and it's definitely Eckert's. Okay, what are you doing? Handwriting. That's her. Anna came to share her toy. She knows I'm not rolling dice this session, so. What? From the feel. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I would just take it from him and probably take it to the room. I might be, kind of feeling it on the way up there, but
sure.
I definitely would not be inspecting it too much in front of this gentleman.
You got it. You're sticking inside your pocket, or
it's a small envelope.
It's it's a regular letter
envelope.
Letter envelope, exactly. But you can feel from when you pick it up that there's only a card in there.
Hmm.
So you place it inside your envelope, or inside your jacket. The ride up is, the lights. They have that sort of like flickering quality to them, where it's not actually flickering, but it's got enough of a weird pulsing that it feels like it is. If you spent time under this light, it would definitely give you a headache. And then it opens up, and you lead your way down to the room. It has the hallways here leading up towards your door has that, it looks cheaply expensive, the way that some hotels can, where they're just gaudy with stripes on the ground and whatnot. It's like everything is trying to look, like some of the more opulent hotels in Numbani, but it's all made of cheap materials.
Yeah.
You make your way down to your room, you hit your phone up against the side, and the door opens for you, or the lock unlocks, and you can see further down the hallway there is a woman who is doing cleaning work, coming out of one of the rooms, and it's still quite early.
Yeah.
You make your way into your room. What kind of room do you think? Is it just a single bed, single room kind of thing, or? Would you have like a suite set up here so you got a place to cook?
No, because I think the food you would order would all be snack bars and that kind of thing. Things that he can eat on the run, not actually have to cook anything.
Yep.
I think he would probably get a room with 2 beds just in case he needed to have someone else there. He's not expecting that, but just for preparation's sake, he'd probably just have the 2 beds.
Sure. So you can see on the leftmost of the beds as you walk into the room, there is a duffel bag that you would recognize as being the things that will have your gear in it. Your armor is going to be in there, and your shotguns.
Yeah, so probably the first thing I do when I enter the room is like sweep it, like make sure there's no cameras or microphones or any bugs or anything.
Let's see here. Let's do this. What skill do we think that'll be?
Yeah.
Let's see. Skullduggery, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, let me just set the difficulty. So I think it's going to be... This is going to be a relatively average task. Yeah, that's it. I got nothing. I got 2, so it'll be 2 purples you're rolling against. Anything else that...
No, that's it. Just like,
Yep. So go ahead and give us a roll.
I mean, in fiction, I imagine he's got some tech that he's using that's helping him with this or whatever, a little bit of...
So what I can tell you with that, I mean, that's you got your success plus... oh, hold on. It didn't... You know what? Hold on. Roll again. I didn't click out of the...
oh, right.
Sorry.
Yeah,
purple.
Yeah.
Go ahead and try again here.
The thing is finicky. There we go. Right, it didn't roll any of the bad
I didn't roll any
dice.
of the things. There we go.
Oh.
Now that's interesting. Okay. So you got 3 advantage, but no successes. And so you do look through here. Let's take a look at the...
Social advantage?
Yeah, social advantage stuff here. Social advantage, those things all seem to relate to...
Oh, like how a person...
Yeah. And most of them are contingent on a success. But this is one of the things Jeff and I talked about before we went live was how much we missed sort of the old Star Wars element, the fantasy fight stuff, where you can have successes with some negative consequences, but also failures with positive consequences. It made the play of the game really interesting. I think... here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a +1, one of the results for combat with 3 advantage. You tell me if you got a different idea. Give you a +1 to your range defense until the end of your first turn in combat. And
I like that. That's kind of what I was thinking too. Like he's at least secured the room where he has, okay, duck here if I need or whatever, right?
Let me show you your view. So you open the view out to Nimbani, and this is what you see out there.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, it's really quite beautiful. It's the place is a testament to the to the cooperation that can be, or what can be built when Omnics and humans cooperate. But of course, like what you can hear is the sound of the sort of substandard air conditioner going, in the room. Here's the thing: you don't find any bugs, and I think that in and of itself just sort of like it puts your. That's where the advantage comes in. Is it puts your senses on, like if they found Eckert. If he did go missing and it was someone who was good enough to take him out, surely they would know where his drop is. So like, either they're really really good, and they thought to bug my room in a way I can't find.
Yeah.
Or perhaps they didn't think it was necessary to bug your room.
Right. Totally.
Would you give us a? I'll keep it at. Do I still have it at average? Right. Yeah, got it still at average. Give us a perception check, please. Again, you got 3 story points right now. You can feel free to spend those if you want to. The intention of the game is to keep those things flowing throughout.
Sorry, which perception did you say?
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty good at it, so I don't know that this is really a time to...
Okay.
I will, though, yeah. I could have done it with that skullduggery, maybe.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, yeah.
So you're nice. Okay. So as you are getting ready... is it 2 to take a maneuver, or is it 1? Yeah. So here's the 2 advantage can be spent to perform an immediate maneuver that does not exceed the limit of 2 per round. So I'll let you convert one of those successes in. What you can hear is, over the sound of that hissing air conditioner, you can hear the sound of that. In the course of you checking your gear and whatever else, your what do you call it? The cleaning lady outside seems to have made her way down to your part of it, and you can hear she is talking quite loudly with someone in the hallway, and that person is trying to shush her.
Oh.
And it sounds like it's right outside of your hotel room.
Oh, well, I'm definitely the kind of person who just bursts the door open.
Okay. So do you pick up anything, or are you just going as is?
I think he would probably take one of his shotguns out of the bag, and it's like one of those like hold it behind the door kind of thing as he opens it, you know?
Okay. So you go and you open the door, and I don't think I've got... Unfortunately, I found some pictures of like thugs from Mexico in the setting, but I did not find anything appropriate. But let me just see what I've got in here. What you can see is there is a mix of about 3, 1 human, 2 Omnics, who all seem to be wearing a... What are you doing? Goof. She's positioned herself on the ottoman in such a place where she's bending back to try and bite her tail where my ring light is, so she's going to knock it over.
That's funny.
She's a master of getting attention. Let me just put this down here for the group of thugs here. But then there is also, each of them has a handgun out and has the look of, like, you know, they got the cheap suit and whatnot. They have a look of a gangster or a thug on them. And then there is a fairly big Omnic who is saying, actually, I'll use Bob for this one because he doesn't look as distinguished. But the thing with this fairly big guy, where is he? Is that his arms aren't quite as big as Bob's, at least both Mark. But on one hand, he's got like almost like a wannabe Doomfist. He's got this crazy, like, hydraulically enhanced, and you can see it's custom made fist. You know, okay, Anna, come on. Listen. Come here. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. He's got that in there, and as soon as the door opens, we're going to roll initiative. So the way we do this is, do you think that you were aware that something was going to happen?
Well, I mean, the way you described it, yes. I think he was expecting a good chance for there to be some kind of
so then
combat.
Click on your token, and I think it works on this one. I think then you are rolling cool. Because remember, there's 2 different ways you can roll: cool or vigilance. If you knew something was going to go off, it's cool. If you didn't, it would be vigilance. And feel free to spend story points if you'd like. Then I will make a check for these 2 schmoes.
Is there like a roll cool for initiative area?
So if you go under the combat one with weapons and whatever, right at the top.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
I thought there was a... there we go.
And let me do this. I'm going to put 3, because remember, minions are treated as groups in this. So I got 3 for the thugs, and this other guy I can tell you is not a minion. What is his? There we go. I'll put a bar in so you can track his wound threshold. Let's see here. C, not edit. Bottom overlapping. There we go. Okay. So did it roll? Let's see here. Click on your token first.
I was just trying to decide if I wanted to spend a story point.
Oh, yes, interesting. Okay.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay, let me clear my thing here. You are okay, so then
Did it?
I'll click an upgrade for you. Go right ahead, make your roll. Nice. Okay, so you got two things. So the way it works is, remember, hits, then tiebreakers are advantage, and then
it did an upgrade.
It didn't.
One green and one yellow is my normal.
Oh, okay.
Cool. According to this thing right here.
Let's see here.
So what? It should have done 2 yellow, right?
It should have done 2 yellow, yeah. So let's see here. I guess that doesn't work. Is there anything on the character sheet that specifically? Let me take a look here.
It doesn't say anything.
Doesn't say anything. Okay. It's kind of Genji sheet. Oh, I know, Anna. I know. Good girl. All right. Let's see here. Weapons and talents. Well, let's just do this then. Why don't you...
Oh, there's just a way to just roll it, right?
Yeah, there's just a way to roll it. So let's do this. Go to your cool. I've got an upgrade in for you. Just go ahead and roll your cool.
Oh, under skills?
Under skills, yeah. Hi.
Oh, yeah, okay, because that probably does it, right? Yeah,
yep,
that did
great. So that's better. All right, so let me just edit this for you. 2-2. All right, and you may remember it was only yourself, but if you do come across an ally at some point, remember we roll, and then you guys choose who takes the hero slots as you go through.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And then I choose for the NPC slots as well. So let's make our rolls for... Did I close it? I did. Madison. Come on, Game Master's sheet. So for the minions, they have... So there's 3 of them. The way it says, for those listening at home, the way it works is the skill level is equal to the number of minions. So that is... what is... They are... It's going to be vigilance, because they did not expect to be fighting you. So that'll be willpower, and they are not trained in it. So I'm just rolling 2 dice. Like that roll. How did I do here? 1 success and 2. Okay, and then the guy with a fist has no training in cool either, so it's just his willpower, which is a 1. He's a slow mamma jamma. All right, so we got... You are up first then. You have been in enough of these situations, and let me... Hold on, I've actually got something new for fight tunes. Okay. So as soon as the thing opens, they're like, "Get him!" You know, and
yeah.
So Reyes, you're up first. What would you like to do? You have an action and a free maneuver, and you can also take 2 strain to do another maneuver.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I want to do. So I think he would take that shotgun out from behind the door and fire the single shot of the one.
Yep. Okay.
Then I'm going to turn and run back into the room and sort of like jump over the bed and grab my bag.
Okay.
And like go to the other side to get my other shotgun out, basically.
Okay, so then that would be 2 strain for a second maneuver to take ready another... Oh, and you got quick draw. I
have quick draw, yeah.
Yes. Right. Okay, cool. So so the shot, let me set up the difficulty here. This is short range, so it's only going to be 1.
Right, and I can't... The big difference is because I'm only holding 1, I can't do the 2... advantage to fire again.
Can't do the dual shot, no.
Yeah, so I just...
and I've added the extra green that you get because of the using cunning instead of whatever. I'm not spending any story points.
Cool.
And... Okay, nice. Okay, so here's the thing.
Oh, those are successes, yeah. Okay.
Another reminder that minions, you use they're treated as a group as well, too. We take your total damage, and for every amount equal to their wound threshold that you exceed, you drop 1 of them. This is the Stormtrooper effect you may remember from Star Wars.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that's 11 points of damage. Their soak is a 3. That's 8 points of damage. So, you know what? Let me. I'll do this as well. So you can see the progress on the minion group as well. I think I've learned a lot about Roll20 since the last time we played Star Wars. So.
Yeah, we were pretty
pretty raw when that happened. Okay, so then that was 8 points of damage. So look at this. Nice. You caught one of them for sure. What does it look like as one of the guys gets knocked down?
Yeah, I think it's like, like shotgun like right out of the door and like probably just close range. Like I imagine he went flying back.
Yeah, and like the cart of all the hotel supplies and whatnot just explodes. Yeah. With tissue paper and or toilet paper and whatnot. Little bars of soap go flying. Race in, you leap across your bed, and then you have both of your Hellfire shotguns in hand. Then it is. Oh, let me add them in as well. And again, they don't go on their turns. It's NPC turns. All right. So then we have an NPC turn. I think we'll go with the big guy next. So you didn't slam the door shut. So you can hear as the fist sort of charges up. He races in towards you, and then he is going to try and slam you with this power glove. So he's in melee with you right now. Now you have your defense.
Does my thing trigger or not? Or only against humans?
Oh, no, it would. Yeah. So you get in and you shoot him a look. It would. That's awesome. Okay, so you're...
My fearsome.
Yes. I'm going to have to spend a story point to try and get this guy to succeed on it. So it's an average discipline check he needs to make on this. This is the first thing. That's awesome. Thank you for reminding me of that. So let's see here. His first thing I need to do is make a discipline check. That is... Oh, and his willpower's not good. Okay, and then...
I kind of imagine that it's part of the intimidation here is like I've got both my shotguns sort of in his face, so like to step into that range, it's like you know how close you are, right?
Well, I was saying you fired one, he's like, haha, he's already shot, and you run in, you're like, oh fuck, he's got two.
Yeah.
All right, so then I got an average thing. I am going to spend a story point to upgrade his check here. Because I think it'll be interesting to see if he can hit you. Let's make the roll. And see. Success and a threat. All right. So I think here's what I'm going to suggest for the threat. Because you can't get a charge from it or anything like that. I'm going to give him an extra black. An extra setback. Because he paused for a moment and then kind of brings this fist down on you.
Yeah. So do you only need a single success to hit?
Only a single success to hit, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then I cleared the dice out. Let's make his... So I'm going to have your melee... Oh, you don't have your armor on.
No, I don't have any armor on right now. So
okay, so then you only have one defense from your armor, right? Or one defense from your that talent you've got. And then one more from his failure. Melee is always a difficulty of 2. And then his brawn is really good. And his melee is... Oh, it's a fist. It's his brawl. Okay, so he's going to try and bring it down. Now, you want to spend any story points to make it more difficult for me?
No, I'll let him roll this first one.
Okay, so here he comes. Let's see here.
Oh, wow.
Holy smoke. All right, so that is a hit with a threat again. I'm going to give you... How about this? A threat will give you a... I think I can do that with this. Give you a blue. I'll give you a boost dice on your next attack. Let's see here.
Like the... Wait, those are good symbols for me when he rolls?
It can be. Oh, sorry. And actually, to target a character, that's actually 2 threat. I just need... Oh, no, that's advantage. Oh, hell. Yeah, thanks. He's actually going to set you up. He'll grant +1. Wait, do we need 2 for that or 1? Sorry, again, folks, it's been a long time since we played this. An allied... Oh, no, I can add a boost dice to the next allied character's check. So he's trying to knock you back to give a boost to them. So that's what we'll do with that threat. The triumph, though, I think, is a critical hit. I get to roll in the critical table here, so let's see. Let's see here. Negate.
Wait. I don't see the oh, there.
Okay,
upgrade their next check.
Do something vital like shooting out on the next initiative check for free maneuver. When dealing damage to a target, have the attack disable the opponent or one piece of gear rather than dealing damage or strain. Oh. You know what? That seems not like a lot of fun. So I think he's going to really ring your bell on this. The difficulty of your next thing is going to be upgraded by 1.
Okay.
Okay, so, and then damage on this is 4... Let's see here. Oh, interesting. There's a quality he's got on his thing here. Whew. All right, so he hammers you and sends you flying across the bed. That'll be... I'm not going to give the +1 to the... No, we'll do what we said. We'll give you the upgrade. Really rings your bell. You're smashed back into the light. You shatter it, and you take 7 points of damage from this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So my wounds are 7?
But no, because what you do is normally you would have you use your full soak, which includes your armor. But what is your brawn stat? It's 3, right?
Let's see. Character. Wait, what? Oh, there, yeah, Brawn 3. Yeah.
Brawn 3, okay, so subtract, your armor gives you an extra 2, you normally would have a soak of 5, but you are hit by this thing, you subtract 3 from it, so you only take 5 points of damage. So add 5 to your red bar, that's your wound threshold.
That's, 5, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because he rolled that though, I get a charge.
No, when I roll a despair, that's a triumph because it looks like a success, but in a circle.
Okay.
See, it came off of the yellow.
I
dice.
see. I thought it worked the other way. Like as the good, it's if you do good, you see. Yeah. Okay,
with you, yeah. If you roll the triumph, you would get one. You could cash that in and get a charge.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And so if I roll a despair, that's one of the reasons to cash those story points in to make me roll red dice. Because if I roll a despair, you can get a charge from that.
Yeah. I guess so. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, I thought it was a catch-up mechanic, but it's a win more mechanic.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a catch-up mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
As the bad guys are doing good things, your meter's building up, so it's dangerous for them.
Yeah.
Whereas it's actually, if you're winning, you kind of win more.
Exactly. To be honest, just like the game. The more damage you do, the more you heal, the more you do whatever else, the faster you're going to charge that meter. But you can always suffer strain as well, too. You can take 5 strain to get your... get one charge. All right, so this thing runs in, bam! You slam against the wall, like, Jesus, you haven't been hit that hard in a while, at least not in your armor. Then the 2 remaining thugs, they're going to spend a maneuver to run in, and then they will open up as well, too. Now, for them, you've got 1 defense. They have to actually increase the difficulty because they're firing into melee. By 1.
They're gonna shoot around their big robot friend.
Exactly. They're gonna shoot around their old robot buddy. And they are trained in ranged light, so that means I get to roll 1 of each. And that's it. Now, do you wish to spend any story points here? I'm currently rolling against 2 purple, 1 black. So if you
no, I think I'm going to save them for my attack. I think finishing them off faster is
better.
key
Okay.
here.
And again, like the game is very cinematic too, so it's not like you're going to get shot with one of these smaller, sidearms and you get downed right away.
Right.
He said confidently before accidentally killing the character.
Yeah, whatever. This is the kind of game where if
and also you got some. This will just give you more of an excuse to make use of your healing thing.
Yeah,
right? Because remember,
exactly.
each one of those hits you did last time, that would have healed you one wound.
Oh, for each success?
Each hit. No, not each success. Each hit.
Oh, each hit. Okay.
Yeah,
each
yeah.
hit.
Okay, so here we go. This is them. So they unload with their guns. I get 2 hits, which means I do... these are not being 6 points of damage in total. So then subtract 3. You only take 3 more wounds. That is the end of our round.
So I take 3 points, you said?
3 points, yeah, in total, after your soak. If you'd been wearing your armor, it would only be 1, and then also I would have rolled 2 extra blacks. Okay, now, we roll initiative again. So let me clear everything out. Go ahead and... now, do you want to spend... Cool, now I can't...
Excuse me.
Let me double check that. I think you roll initiative each round in this, but I might be wrong.
It's been so long since we played Star Wars.
Yeah. So I'm
I feel like we did roll each round and then we sorted the... It was just like the order of hero turns, and then we would like you said, you could, with your allies, you could choose the order people went, right?
Yeah, so it became... and in this, it's just really a question of whether you go before the enemies. Yeah, it's each round. Yeah, step 1. Okay, so go ahead and give us a cool check. I will, once you're done, I'll roll for them.
Oh!
Holy smokes. I'm not going to roll. You're going to go first. There. So it's you, and then I'll get to go with the enemy. So your difficulty is going to be upgraded by 1. So you're going to be roll. What are you doing this round?
I definitely am. This is tough, right?
So your strain is separate from your wounds.
Right.
So you remember.
So I can spend. Okay, so let's just go through this real quick because this is like the first time. So I can. Which one is that? That's Guns Blazing.
Guns Blazing is the one where you spend 2 strain, and you don't upgrade when you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm definitely doing that.
Okay, and then you could also spend a maneuver to use your dual wield to reduce the difficulty by 1, which would mean that it's just back down to a 1.
And then I'm going to use a story point.
Ooh.
So I'm doing all that.
Okay, so I've
2 strain.
And I've given you an upgrade to count for that.
Oops.
I've given you your extra green dice you need.
Okay, and now I'm rolling my weapons.
Yep, here we go.
And so if I'll roll and see. Oh my goodness, not a single success. Oh my goodness.
Now hold on, you do have twice per round. You could spend a story point, re-roll with a boost dice. Right now you've got a shit ton of advantage, which means you could set yourself up for something really sweet here.
Yeah, so,
like an environmental effect you could do, like you could, I don't know, knock something down on the ceiling. You could give yourself a bonus to your defense until the start of your next round. You could force the target to drop a melee or ranged weapon.
No, let's re-roll that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and spend a
that's
story
another
point.
Story point? Yeah.
Let me add you a boost dice in here. And then...
Oh, and then it also adds 1 boost to it.
Yes, 1 boost dice. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, let's try it again.
Let's try it again
I
here.
don't want to miss. I don't want to miss. Okay, ready?
Yep. Good to go. There you go. So 1 hit means... And you've got... a lot of advantage. You only need 2 of the advantage to actually trigger a second hit. Are both of those hits going on the minions, or are you spreading around the joy here?
I think I'd spread it around.
Okay.
Trying to keep them in check, but also blast this robot right in the face.
All right. So then, it would be 8 points of damage to them. They have a soak of 3, so another 5 points of damage. They are down to another one of them. You blast him, he flies back, smashes up against where your groceries are and hits the ground. And then against the big guy's got a soak of 6, so he only takes 2 points of damage.
And now, this is where my recovery thing works?
Let me give you another option here, actually. Instead of hitting a second time, here's something else you could be doing. You could get 1 charge for that 4 advantage as well.
Oh. Right.
So what would you do? It means that the big guy wouldn't have taken that 2 damage, but it would give you 1 charge.
Well, but every hit is where I get the 1 point back, right?
Yes.
So I think the hits are worth it for me.
Okay, so that means you heal, you'd heal 2 wounds.
Because that takes me back down to half injured and less likely of them dropping me.
Okay.
But I still have 2 advantage then,
yes,
right?
Yes, right, yep.
Okay, so I can...
You could do an immediate maneuver. I mean, it's a sci-fi setting. I'd let a maneuver be to put your armor on if you want.
Oh, right, because it's not necessarily like medieval armor. It's like...
yeah, it could just be...
Yeah, it could be tech armor. Yeah,
Iron
totally.
Man style,
like,
right?
Iron Man style. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I like that he's got like... Yeah, he pulls it out and like... hits something on it and it does the work essentially.
And it smoke rises up around you.
Maybe the suit itself is like smoke comes out of the thing and envelops him, and then when it dissipates he's wearing his armor.
Nice. There's a great his signature, one of his signature lines is just this really spooky laugh. So I kind of dig the idea that you're like
yeah, and now he's wearing his armor.
All right.
Sweet. There we go.
So then there's only 1 surviving minion. I'm actually going to make him make a terror check anyway. I'm going to give him... Let's clear this here. So normally it's your fearsome is a 2. He's not engaged with you, so I'm only going to make it a 1, but his willpower is not great. Let's make a... Unless you want to put story points to make it more difficult for him, I'm making a roll.
No, go ahead, because you have most of them right now. So
6. So I do succeed, but he's got a threat in there.
Oh.
I think... So here's the neat thing with the minions as well. Minions do not take strain. They take it as wounds. So this is, I think, like, I'm going to just apply it as damage. And it's because he's like, it's going to be so easy to drop him. Narratively speaking, it's just that he's so shaken by your appearance.
Well, maybe he didn't know the full story of who they were sent to take on, and like maybe actually seeing the smoke armor, maybe he is like clued in. That's the Reaper. Like
exactly.
Maybe now he knows who I am.
God.
Like, yeah, like you're being sent in to kill Black Widow or something in the Marvel universe, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, that's a fucking Avenger. Like,
so then he is. So the minion is just rolling his. I'm rolling against a 2. Oh, hold on, and you got your armor on. I have 3 setback dice, 3 black dice. No other modifiers. 1. He does manage to hit you still. So that is, however, 1 hit. That is 5 points of damage, and I think your armor is your soak of 5.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. Oh, your soak should be a 5, not a 4 on the character sheet, because I adjusted your brawl or brawn at one point.
Yeah, and I changed it.
Okay,
it
great.
did say 4, and I made it 5.
Okay, perfect. So he fires at you with this thing, hits your armor, and you're kind of like, looks at his gun. Then the big guy, he still, he looks and... Oh, I forgot to give you... Oh, no, I did do an upgrade on difficulty. So he's going to try and... Second verse, same as the first. He's going to try and hit you again.
Yeah, it worked well for him.
Worked well for him, but you got your armor on now. Anything you wish to do to affect his dice pool?
No, not on this round.
On this one, okay.
I only have one story point left.
Yeah. So here he will swing. You know, here, let's give you your story point back. Boom. There you go.
He's taking the advantage.
Yeah, I'll take the advantage. So I'll do one upgrade on this, and then let's see. Oh, that is a solid hit. Oh, mama. 1, 2, 3.
Actually,
4,
those
5,
are
6.
bad ones.
Yes, so he's got 2 threat as well.
2 threats, but like a huge number of successes.
Plus 8 is 14 damage. Minus 5 is 7.
Oh, that's enough to drop me.
Okay. So then I need you, if you go to your character sheet, where it says injuries, just go ahead and roll that. Let's see what critical hit he gets on you.
Under critical injuries?
Yeah. Because he's
Oh, here, critical roll? Yeah.
Oh, boy. Suffer 1 strain each time you perform an action. Oh, something's fucked up. Oh, that got something loose. Oh. All right, so you are at full. Your wound threshold is full now.
So you just put it at 12, right?
Yeah, I just put it at 12. It's just each time I damage you afterwards, there's another critical hit. All right, and then it's plus 10 for each subsequent critical. So that hurt. That is the end of the round. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. So go ahead and click on your token. Let me, am I not clearing this? I'm not. Roll turns. There we go. Go ahead and click on your token and go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh,
nice.
1 and
Okay,
1.
So I might have a chance there.
Yeah, they can do that.
Hold up. Sorry. Try it again. Oh no, that worked. Never mind.
I was right.
Yeah, because I had a bunch of shit in the GM's dice pool still. All right, so for them, I got. Let's see here. This is for the minions. Tied, but heroes always go first. And for the big guy, nope. Okay, you're up first. So that last one, it's a knockoff, version of Doomfist's thing, but like, man, that thing really hit pretty hard. So what are you gonna do?
So okay.
So maneuvers don't take strain for you. It's only your action. So basically, you're going to take 1 strain when you take an action this round.
Right. Okay. I'm wondering. So, do I have to make a roll to gain the ability to like change the game? So what I was going to say is like, if he would have anything to like jump out the window, like smash out the window and not die, like, as far as like a method of like a grappling hook type thing or a rope or I can teleport.
Once per encounter within range, within long range, and long range is like we're talking quite some distance away here.
So I think I'm gonna shoot.
Okay.
Before I jump out the window.
yeah, because it's maneuver to move.
Right.
So let's see here. So we can.
So my shooting action causes a strain.
Yep. Okay. Now you can also spend if you have nothing else to do with your other maneuver. It sounds like you are using your dual wielder maneuver though, right?
That just takes 2 strain, right?
So dual wield, yes.
That takes my maneuver.
Takes your maneuver. 2 strain is the one that prevents it. You got 2 different ways. If you don't want to take 2 more strain, you can just point the pistols.
I don't mind doing the strain.
Okay.
Okay, so 5 total strain.
Okay.
I'm at now.
So then, I actually have to spend a story point to make it back up to a 1 difficulty. Because
otherwise I just get guaranteed success.
Yep.
Oh.
Okay. And the setback dice are because of the inaccurate from your weapon. I don't think. 1 extra green. I'm good to go for your weapon attack if you.
Okay.
Unless there's anything else you want to add.
No, I'm gonna save those story points to get out of here alive if I can. Oh man, he misses.
So I mean, that could be a charge.
Yeah. Why don't I charge? Because I can, because then I can use, like we're just sort of playing this out here, so I'm gonna use that charge right away to like activate his armor.
Okay, so now each move will bring you 2. What that means is you can move up to a medium distance, and I was just looking that up for the...
Well, but that would let me, like, do something like disengage, right? Because he's in melee with me? Or...
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you could disengage and then leave this zone.
Yeah, so I think he, like, fires the guns, like, maybe almost in a way to, like, sort of in the face of this giant Omni... What are they called again? Omnix, just to sort of like get it out of my face, and then I'm going to disengage, and like I said, I'm going to crash through the window and sort of like while he's falling, like use his teleport to like land, not dead kind of thing.
So long range is 2 people within long range of each other need to yell loudly to hear each other.
Okay. Oh, so that, I mean, I'm on the 6th floor, so like I'm probably like 70 feet in the air or something. Yep. I mean, I can yell 70 feet, no problem.
Yep. So if you want to just teleport to the ground.
Yeah, but I think he like jumps out the, like he shatters the window, and then I think as he's going down, he's like, "There goes my food." Like, he's annoyed that he ordered those groceries to the room, and like.
Yeah. Okay, I think fortunately that the note you didn't think to put that down yet, so that's sealed in your.
No, I hadn't even got a chance to look at it.
Yeah. All right, so you dive out the window, and all right. Let's see here. So that puts you at long
jump
range.
Out the window. Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you going? Like another rooftop? It looks very much like what we see in the illustration here. You could.
Yeah, like I think that it would be. Here, let me. Yeah, I mean, except we're not quite that high, right? Because we're, like he's trying to get to his bike, obviously. Like he needs to get away from here. So he would go, maybe that's like the pool area or the lounge area or something where he's landing. And
I think what happens then is you, we cut down to the ground, and it's either, do you think you're overlooking the pool or do you think you're overlooking the valet? Oh, there's no valet. This place is pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's like pretty. I'm imagining he's overlooking like a pool that doesn't have water in it anymore.
Yeah. So then we see like there's a bunch of glass hits the ground, and then there's a smoke that sort of pulls up, and you manifest, and you look up a long distance away. The minion runs to the window and tries to shoot down, but the guns are not effective at this range, so he. I think we're out of the encounter because the big guy can't jump down at you.
He's not going to jump after me. Okay.
No, he can't actually, because that would be a very long fall for him.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
So he's turning in there, but you do see them look down, and then they do that sort of like that thing when they run back into the room, so you can sort of guess where they're going.
Well, yeah, and I'm like running through the hotel or whatever to get back to my bike.
Let's see here. You've got the painkiller on you. Those things will be attached to your armor, so you can heal yourself for 5 if you like.
Yeah, I probably would. I think you would see him doing that, like sort of while he's running. He would like pull this off of his pouch and like inject himself in the leg or whatever.
Okay.
So that takes me down to 7.
Yes, painkiller. Let's see here. Immediately heals 5 wounds. It's within a day. So a 6th painkiller in a day has no effect. All right, so you healed yourself a little bit. Also, because you're out of the immediate encounter, you get to make a roll to recover strain. And it is a choice between...
Oh, and Kev, you were saying that, like, the narratively, like, the smoke moves and things like that, doesn't matter. So I think that what you would see is like maybe he's like actually like using that to move through the hotel at this like he's like it's
terrifying, and your fearsome effect is still in effect, right? So it's like people screaming as
people are backing away.
Yeah. Okay, so recover from strain. At the end of an encounter, let me clear my DM screen here. Okay, end of the encounter, you can make either a discipline or cool check. For each hit that you roll, you recover 1 strain.
Oh, sorry, what were my 2 options?
Either discipline or cool.
So cool, I have 1 green, 1 yellow. Discipline is the same. Okay. All right, here we go. And what, each success is...
Each success reduces your strain by 1.
Okay. Here we go.
Nice.
Oh, nice. 2.
Okay, so your strain goes down by...
There we go.
All right. So you sort of go roaring through this, through a door down to the, what do you call it? The basement. You know what? Something I do like about the system. I think you're going to have to try and avoid them. They're going to be looking at, they'll be looking for you in the building.
Yeah, totally. That's what I figured.
So, contested roll. Let's do this. The minion is going to be able to help, so he'll add... I'm just going to set up the difficulty as I talk through this. So I'll add 1 setback dice for them, because he's helping. I'm also adding... Okay, his vigilance is a 1. It's probably his perception he's using, though. Perception is cunning. So that's only a 2. All right, so now your armor grants you, I believe, 1 boost to stealth. Is that right? I think is that Genji, one of the other guys.
Gain 1 defense and 1 setback die to perception checks to notice you.
Nice. Okay, so I'll just convert that into a boost dice for you to hide.
Yeah, and like I said, I probably am using that smoking ability to
Which is so cool, because you can picture, you move into a hallway and then sort of into this, darkened corridor, corner of the stairwell as they go running past, and then you continue on.
Yeah.
So the dice pool is set up. Go ahead and give us a stealth check, and you've got 1 or 3 story points.
Oh yeah, let's use 1 because this is a cool point where he is.
Hold on, let me give you an upgrade here. Okay, and you are good to go.
Oh, if you click upgrade, then it auto does it.
It auto does it, yeah.
Oh wow,
nice. 2 successes, 2 advantage. Your call, but I'm fine with you converting those 2 advantage straight into recovering strain.
Yeah, I like that. It's sort of like he's just, I think it's sort of like you said, or like I was saying before, when he's moving about, he would try not to be sort of this Reaper character, but once he falls into it, it's sort of it's like when Bruce Wayne is Batman, right? He's almost more at home as the Reaper than he is being himself.
You're fighting on your terms now as opposed to theirs. So you disappear. They go racing past. You can hear the whine of that bargain basement Doomfist glove as you they go racing out into the thing or into the main hallway. Or the main floor, and then you down through the staircase, and then down to where your bike is waiting. Yeah,
absolutely. I think I need to get away from this hotel. Obviously, they were waiting for me. Okay. So
this thing fires up. You rolled well enough. You'll be able to get away without them being able to find you. So, what do we see?
I think we just see him turn and just get on the bike and take off down the street, and it's like one of those he just turns the corner as they come running out the front door, looking left or right kind of thing.
Yeah, where'd he go? Oh, and you go racing off. All right, so we're late for it too, but why don't we take our mid-session break right now? Refresh beverages. I'll see if Anna Banana wants to go outside.
Sounds good.
And then we will see what happens. Let me get rid of your interrogators. You've reduced your strain. We'll see what happens next. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes, folks. Okay. Here we go. All right. So then, last when we took our break, we were you had just taken a dive out the window, collected your stuff, and then you had made your way off into the streets of Numbani. So we see, you kind of roll around the corner. Where are you? This is a city you're unfamiliar with. Streets are full of those big CR-15 robots. Kind of like, slow down, it says in a very monotonous kind of way.
I think he would head somewhere public, like a park or an open space.
Yeah. So I think it strikes me as a kind of place you can almost picture like a, like a nature, like an African safari reserve kind of thing. Where there'd be like wildlife, from the region, and sculpted in a bunch of ways, but with also like some, obvious like hover drones or something like that, making their way around. I like a cross between a really well executed safari, kind of resort with Central Park. So there is like, there's like overpasses and whatnot nearby. You're surrounded by reminders that you're in this massive city, and there are all sorts of people, and in particular, almost equal mix of humans and omnics who are making their way around. Everyone's really enjoying the day, and you pull out, having gone through what you went through. Oh, and let me switch back to our creepy music here. All right. So that was something.
Yeah. Well, and I think that this is like he's heading here so that he can finally open this envelope and take a look at it. But he wants to be just somewhere where no one's going to take notice of. So, do I have like holsters or somewhere to put my guns?
Most definitely. You have holsters
Yeah.
on your sides, and then also you've got those saddlebags effectively in the thing. I think you can fit your shotguns in there. Now, before we go on, let's quickly take a look at critical wounds, because you're still... Oh, God. Like that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So...
What can I do to get... Yeah, let's see here. Critical injury.
Let's see. Critical
It
injury.
has 3 purples on it. I don't know if that means something.
What that is the difficulty for treating it. It's the severity of the...
oh, okay. Yeah.
Injury. Okay. Let's see here. At the brink. Ooh, it's actually worse in Genesys. They may have changed it. It's 2 strain every time you perform an action. It was 1 strain in the pop-up, but...
So I should actually have 1 more strain still.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, let's see here. Treating it...
I mean, the next place I go after looking at this note may be to a hospital or something.
So it's a corresponding medicine check to treat and remove the injury. It's important to note that even if the effects of the critical injury have expired, it persists until treated. So if you've got something that is a more short-term critical, it's still, like, even if it stops affecting you, it's still there. Just so that if you're hit with another critical hit, you would get plus 10. You could take another painkiller as well too. Like you've got full 5 here. So the second one heals 4, the third one heals 3.
Yeah, I'll take 1 more. Okay. That drops me to 3 injury.
Yeah.
Or 3 wounds. But I do think I would. First, I need to read this note. But if people are out to kill me, I do think I would seek medical attention for my injury.
Now, the types of injuries that you've got here, and being who you are, you're probably not going to want to show up on a... the sort of community or the free healthcare service. So to find a back alley dock, this isn't an action, so you're not going to get strained from this. I think to find a back alley dock will be a... I'm going to say it's an easy streetwise task, because I mean, like, if it was hard to find them, they would not have a lot of business. But because
they wouldn't exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But because it's a city you're not familiar with, I'm going to give you 1 setback dice on it, because it's a place you're not familiar with.
Okay.
You want to spend a story point to affect your roll at all, or?
Yeah. I do want to open the letter first.
Oh, okay, yeah. So if you pull it out, you open the letter. What the letter has on it is, 1 second here. It has, this is weird. It is like a keepsake little gift card. Like even in the future of Overwatch, they still use sort of gift cards for a place called Coffee Aromo. And you think about it, like, it's sort of the Numbani equivalent of like a Starbucks. It's a local branded kind of coffee shop. You've seen these before. This one, on the back of it, it has 2 things scrawled onto it. And once again, you recognize the handwriting. This is Eckert's handwriting. One of them is an address within Numbani, so probably the location of the store. The second thing is you're not sure what this is. This is the word. Zydeco.
Zydeco. Could be a password. Is what he thinks. Yeah, okay. Now that I've finally looked at this card,
okay.
Step 1 is find the street doctor.
Okay.
So
be streetwise. You want to spend story point to upgrade, or get a roll with streetwise. Difficulty right now is 1 with a setback dice.
And the setback is the black, right?
Yeah. So 1 purple, 1 black.
I do have 3 greens and a yellow, so I'm just gonna roll it. He feels confident he can do it.
Okay.
This is his kind of thing.
For sure, yeah. Nice. All right. The 2, I'm open to anything with that. The 2 dice. Anything you think that would give you? It could give you a +1 to. A subsequent roll?
Yeah, I think it, like, storyline wise, I guess I could do it to a subsequent roll, but the idea was just like he's looking for one that he does not think is connected to, like, those guys look like mobsters to him.
Definitely.
Or gangsters. Yep. And so he's looking for a street doctor, but one who isn't connected to the gangs, basically. Okay. Like, if you know what I mean. Like, he doesn't want to walk right into their nest of, like.
Sure. So let's do this. I'll give you a couple options here with it. You could get a boost dice on basically, like, you'd be adding a setback dice on their chances to try and find you. So I'll give you a boost dice for you to keep hidden from them.
I like that.
Or it could be a boost dice. It could be the quality of the doctor. Give them a boost dice on their medicine check.
That's actually probably more important, because I think I know enough. I've been injured enough times. I know this one's pretty serious. Like, I know I need a good doctor. Like, some hack isn't gonna cut it.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'll make sure it's a good doctor. Maybe I will take the risk that it's their doctor of this gang, if he's the best one in town, kind of thing.
You got it. Let me just find a doctor here. I'm actually using, I ordered last week the 3 sets, the Android Shadow the Beanstalk set, or source book for this had a bunch of like NPC cards with all stats and whatnot. And I was like, that'd be really useful for I just thought I was going to run it with Android, then I was like, I can use this for Overwatch as well.
Now, just to throw this out there,
yep.
If you wanted, it could be that the best doctors in Omnic.
I
does
love
kind of
that.
make it interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is someone. So I've got all the characters. Yeah, these are all names. What we got here? Mr. Lee, Mr. Stone. Come on, where's Street Doc? Street Doc. You know what I can do? Because I know there's one in this. I actually was cleaning up and got my Star Wars deck as well. I know there's medics in there. I can just use the stats out of that. Because they're pretty much the same. Where's a medical doctor? Or medical droid. Where are you? Okay. There are neat rules out of the Advanced Player's Guide for Genesys, where they've got some really comprehensive rules for designing NPCs that look really, really good. It's sort of like selecting different traits and sort of jamming it together to get the final stats. And then it also measures the medical droid. Here we go. It also measures the challenge, the challenge rating of it, so you can sort of, D&D style challenge rating measure against the difficulty. Okay, so 3. All right, so medicine. You do find this doctor, and I think you can picture that this is sort of the Omnic equivalent of like the doctor of what's his name, Doc something or other from Deadwood. He's sort of hunched over, so like his robotic frame is sort of warped a little bit, either by time or circumstance or whatnot. He has a robotic sort of like mustache, and then he's got like a fake sort of hair thing on the back, but it's been damaged a fair bit.
Yeah.
And he wears a hat, so he's got you set up, and what did you do to yourself? Now, one thing I was going to say is that why don't you give yourself back the 4 damage that you took, because they can actually try and treat you as well.
Oh.
And
nice.
For AE, I forgot about that. They can make a medicine check, and each success restores 1 wound threshold. So, first thing is, let's clear all this crap. So he needs to...
Oh, so you're saying he'll heal the last 3 wounds?
He's going to make it... No. The thing is...
he's going to make a check on it.
He's going to make a check on it, and the...
I see. Like, don't take the other medicine.
Yeah, don't take the other medicine. Yeah, like, if you choose to afterwards, that's fine. But I mean, if he heals you... And I don't know if he will, but if he heals you a 5, you certainly...
Right, I might not feel the need to. Right.
Yeah, okay, so... and actually, like, taking that first one to bring it below your wound threshold, that was helpful. Because it helps their... the difficulty. Okay, so he's got it's 3 purples for the difficulty, and he has 2 greens. Sorry, 1 green, 2 yellows in his so far, plus the boost dice because he found a good doctor. Now,
can I do anything to affect his role?
You could spend a story point, to upgrade, give him an upgrade on his skill check. This is an ally, so.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I'll do it. Yeah, because I mean, I need to recover.
When you're looking around, and like from the outside, this place, it looked fairly. It was, again, like in the same neighborhood where the Jackal's Den was. It's not the nicest part of the part of Numbani, but inside though, like there is a full, like, this would give the Overwatch sickbay a run for its money. Not as, Dr. Ziegler is obviously, a genius, and this guy doesn't compare to that, but still impressive setup for him.
Yeah, and I think story point wise, like what to be the boost, what I imagine is that because of who he is and what he does, maybe on his phone or his device or whatever, he's got like his full medical history and like all of his information that like would assist the doctor. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's got his full medical file.
Love it. Yeah. So he's got, and you can see like your phone's sitting there with it, scrolling on it, and it's displayed up, in the hall display.
Onto his thing.
Yeah, and he sort of puts it up. Interesting, you're keeping that kind of records with you. You a veteran of some kind? And he's fussing around with some kind of biotic, material.
That's right.
Then I guess I don't need to tell you, this is going to sting. I mean, hit you with this. Okay, so this is for the roll to get rid of your critical wound. Look at that.
Wow.
Oh. Now, this is he's technically on your team. Do you want to dump that triumph into another charge?
Yeah.
Okay,
sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
You should actually have 2 charges.
No,
Now,
I spent one.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's activate that ability.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 1 charge now. And you are completely, so that is healed. Now, did get 3 threat on that. More about that later.
Yeah, what has he done? Yeah.
Then...
so I remove that now?
Yes, you can remove
heal,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Heal.
He's completely...
There we go.
Now, let's see if we can do something. I'm going to give you something for your pain, too. Now, am I right in thinking that whatever you did to get this done to you, it might happen again?
It most assuredly will.
So we are looking in the non-drowsy category of pharmaceuticals.
Please.
All right. And he kind of makes his way over. You going to be staying around for long, or?
As long as I need to.
As long as you need to, eh? All right, well. So the difficulty, because your wounds are over, do I have it listed here, Medican? I don't. Okay. If your wounds are equal to half of your wound threshold or less, it's an easy test. If it's more than that, it is a difficult test or average test. And then if you're in excess of your wound threshold, then it's hard. So he's only rolling against 2 purples right now. And again, he's got a boost dice, and he's got 1 green, 2 yellows. Anything you want to do to modify this one?
No, this is
good to go.
How much he can heal, yeah.
Okay, let's see here. So you get 2 back.
Nice.
Okay. So that brings you down to 5, and then if you choose to, you can also make use of that thing, your second painkiller.
And that would put me to 1.
That would bring you down to 1, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. I think that maybe like narratively, I give it to him to incorporate into what he's doing. Like he administers it as part of what he's doing.
You know what? I may have given you a bad suggestion though, because his difficulty is actually higher the more injured you are. Like what I was worried about is you making use of it. If you had done it the way we had it originally,
then his roll is easier.
His roll, because look at his roll. Like I would have had 1 less purple dice, which means I would have 1 more success.
Oh, I see, which would put me at 0.
So let's put you at 0. Let's do that. I don't want to screw you over because of my
I know what you're saying.
Poor knowledge of the system. So he gets
our poor knowledge of the system.
I'm happy. I'm the one responsible for running the game, so I'm happy to follow the sword on that.
Yeah, well.
All right, so you get up and man, you feel brand new.
I feel okay.
And in fact, why don't we spend that extra 2 advantage? Let's get rid of your strain as well.
Yeah, the doc was
get you back up and running.
Beautiful.
All right.
In fact, I leave here feeling a little ready to take those guys on with my 1 charge.
Yeah. Cracking your neck.
Maybe this is one of the first Omnics in the last few months that I've actually got along with and saw a lot of value in. Like this was a very positive experience for me.
Mm-hmm. So he says, then anything else I need for you? I'm already charging you more than this is worth, so I've gone ahead and refilled, and he points to your your biotic solutions. Both of those are filled up now, so you have the full complement of 5 again. I took the time to fill that up again.
Thank you very much.
Well,
I understand the extra charge.
Don't thank me till you see. Yeah. And he's looking, and I think we can see a couple of those like preloaded coins are sitting on a stack next to him. And he quickly goes over and snags them because that's what you use to pay for this. You don't want to trail.
No,
right?
of course, no trail. Yeah.
All right. Anything else you need?
That's it for now. You got a back way out of here?
He kind of looks at you, and there's a as his things blink.
Or a second way out.
You think I want you coming in the front way?
Yeah.
Now, far be it from me to turn away future business, but you give me the impression of one who attracts bullets. If my assumption is correct, you find your way back here, we'll patch you right back up again.
I appreciate it.
One thing kind of flashes. And so you get out. All right. So you're feeling pretty good?
I am feeling pretty good.
What are you planning on doing next here then?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm going to head to the coffee aroma.
Okay.
And see what I can find there.
All right.
So I'll go to the one at the... I'd probably look that up on my phone and confirm that the address...
Yeah. Actually, let me
matches
show you.
To...
I have. This is what you can see. So this is the streets of Numbani. Coffee Aroma.
Nice.
Right in the corner there, but there's one of the challenges of a place like this. Obviously, there is a lot of places to position a sniper or, some other kind of lookout.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I would start by just driving past it,
Okay.
and then I would find somewhere a couple blocks away or something to probably leave my motorcycle. Like I wouldn't park out front, kind of thing.
Yeah. So let's do one thing here. We're going to make another stealth check. Let me clear the thing here. The reason being is because you rolled I'm converting that threat into sort of a... There are people looking for you.
Oh, I assume they are out everywhere.
And I think... so your armor normally gives you a bonus to your stealth, but I think in a situation like this where it's daylight and it's foreign city, that actually doesn't help. That's a pretty conspicuous thing. So I'm just going to have it come out in the wash as a net.
Yeah. When I was going to say, like, especially if I'm riding around on a motorcycle, it's not, it's not covering the whole motorcycle.
If only you hadn't rolled that threat at the beginning, you could have had your Land Rover.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay, here we go.
All right. So let's hear. I've got... Look at that.
Did you set it?
Yeah. I did, yeah. It was just an average difficulty. Okay.
Ooh, success, but again, those
success. Threats. All right, so there's 2 threat. What are we going to do with that? Let's see. Do I want to set up a difficulty of something? Opponent may immediately perform 1 free maneuver. So we very briefly see the big guy, the big, Doomfist wannabe Omnic walk out of the, the hotel, and there's that minion who's standing outside, with in front of this vehicle. And he's like, "So did the manager say something?" And he says, "I've got an answer. You want some coffee?" And we cut to you pulling up. So let's do this. I'm gonna switch over. I didn't set it up yet, but
as like an actual scene.
Yeah. I'll put an actual, because I've got that loaded anyway. I don't know why I didn't set it up. I think I was in the middle of a rush to. Actually, I wasn't in a rush. I was just very excitedly setting up all these different things. I'm like, ooh, a handout for the coffee shop and a. One thing you can't say for...
why do I feel like this is already probably a 4 or 5 session?
It is. I sort of I made a point of not calling it a one shot this time at least. So
yeah, exactly. That was a good idea. Yeah, that was a good idea.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's. I mean, to be honest, we never play this again. I'm totally fine, but this is such a good fit of setting and system. The creator of this thing, and again, if anyone's joining us late, you can find a link down below to his Twitter and to the link for the full Genesys Overwatch thing, the set of rules that we use to build this character and the other members of Blackwatch. Awesome job on it. So good.
Well, and the thing that we said we really enjoy about this version of game system is the fail to succeed but still get advantage, or succeed with negative effects. Like, I do really like that mechanic.
I love it. Yeah, it's such a weird. I think that when it was a combination of having played something for too long. Well, I mean, that's a whole separate thing. But I think I stagnated on Star Wars in part because of change. Like, it was more the long-term play of that campaign, and I just used the excuse of the mechanics as a reason to sort of stop running it.
Yeah.
You know, and there's some innovations they've made since, but.
We had some really fun and exciting scenes in that game.
There's been some scenes in other sessions lately, in our Spyro's Parador game in particular, where I'm like, oh yeah, this is very much what we used to do all the time in Star Wars. The Genesys mechanic does a fucking great job of giving really exciting, cutting. You do not need to have everyone together. Remember our whole thing with people running through that Star Destroyer that was converted into a medical bay where everyone's all over the fucking place doing different things? That was awesome.
There was just such good, a lot of good memorable moments and scenes in that game.
Yep.
Now it's one of them for sure that I always think back to, where we split the party crazy and just it worked out well though. It was exciting and fun.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, it was really.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I mean, there were so many. The dice in it really facilitated some
that
really
kind of
fun
gameplay.
Well, even the scene we just had with you diving out the window, or things like that. Just
I like that.
Awesome stuff. So anyway, let me bring your character over here to. I want to make sure
over to the coffee shop now that we digressed for a second, but.
Well, it's been so long since we played
Genesys or whatever.
Star Wars.
I guess we would refer to the Star Wars games that we played now as like in the Genesys system.
Yeah, totally. Which makes it more accurate than calling it Fantasy Flight. But all right, so you let's do this here. What I'm gonna set an average difficulty for this. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm going to tell you my strategy, and it's totally coming off of this beautiful image that we have here. But I like the idea of, like I said, I drive by, and I'm going to like park, a block away or whatever. And I like the idea of like jumping onto the side of the bus. Yep. And then like as the bus goes by the coffee shop, like jumping off the side of the bus and like sneaking into the trying to be stealthy, right? But
Yeah, love it. Okay, so why don't you give us it's just an average perception check. I don't think there's any factors that are necessarily... Well, you're taking care... So it's the equivalent of a maneuver. I'm going to give you a boost dice for it. For your perception check.
It's just under the... Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as you can tell... There's nobody in there. And one... Let's see here. Add... so you could add a boost. I mean, you are being exceptionally cautious right now, and you want to... Oh, sorry, I just remembered something. The critical hit, I'm such a dummy. That's one of the things you can spend your points on. Your critical rating on your weapon, remember, that's how many successes it takes you to trigger a critical hit with it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right? I completely forgot about that. I was just reading through. I'm like, what is this? Oh yeah, right. No, that's how much it.
Oh, you mean your boot, like your charges?
Yeah, your advantage. Like when you roll advantage, that's what you convert over to do things. So like your guns, I think, have a critical rating of 4, but like Genji's katana, which is super fucking sharp, has a critical rating of 1.
Oh yeah.
So you can trigger a critical hit a lot more easily with that. But anyway, so what do you think here? I'm looking at the combat encounter spends here. Notice a single important point in the ongoing conflict, like a location of a door's control or a weak panel. What do you think? Maybe you've spotted like a clear exit.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe like sort of as the bus is coming around the corner, I see like an employee, like, you know, throwing out some trash or something that it's like, okay, I can see where the back door exits this building, kind of thing.
So there'll be one maneuver to get out instead of like one to get there. Maybe like as the guy throws his shit away, you know, we see the bus pull out in front of the coffee and the door's closing, and then the last second we see this black boot sort of stop it. You push it open, and so it'll take you one maneuver to get out of this place. So how do you plan on approaching? You can picture this place, again, like it's a mix of, this is sort of near downtown. You can see there's an advertisement for the Doomfist display.
Yeah.
Up here.
Well, that's obviously like a train station or something across the street.
Yeah, a Dalway station. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that there's... Yeah, so what do you do? I mean, he doesn't really know who he's meeting or what to see here.
Yep.
So I think that at this point, I think his plan is to just order the coffee, maybe attempt to use the gift card to pay for it to see if that causes any anything to happen, and otherwise like actually get his coffee and sit down for a bit and sort of stake the place out and see if I can, if nothing else, I can see what Eckhart saw here.
Sure. Let me give you 3 things here. I'm giving you those 3 names that you had from before. I forgot to put them in. So Ndugu Wachuma was the Brotherhood of Iron. Samira was a name that seemed to be either Night Companion or like Nighttime Conversation or Night Conversationalist, and Joko Ten, which you thought might be the name. It definitely has like an omnic kind of quality to it. They have very inventive names in many cases.
Yeah. And
or
then
could be a gang name as well, I guess.
Right. So, I mean, if someone's name tag... So, I mean, I obviously would be taking note of the name tags of the employees in here.
So you get in and you're looking around, and it's a mix of people. You know, there's people who are busy at work on their computers, you know, writing the next, I think it'll be like Noombollywood, I guess, screenplay they're working on, because even in Coffee Aromo, there's still people who are working on their screenplays in a coffee shop. And there's, college students who are talking to each other. Again, like the thing that is really striking here is the mix of ethnicities. There's a lot of folks wearing like traditional African garb, but also like an equal mix of omnics and humans in here. Even the omnics are sitting and enjoying like the conversation for whatever. They probably pay some kind of like, I don't know, like access fee or something, like maybe like a wireless fee, the equivalent.
Yeah.
You know, so they're so I mean, like it has the look of like a midday, weekday coffee shop kind of vibe.
Right.
Corporate types going back, and you're looking around, and there's not really, There's certainly empty chairs in here too, and then there's the place to kind of go and order. And you can see a mix of humans and omnics behind the till.
Yeah, so I'll go and place my order. A coffee, black.
Can I get your name, sir?
Oh. That's a trick. What would he give them? Maybe he'll give them this name. This Zydeco is the name he gives them.
Okay.
He doesn't know what it means, but he's going to use it anyway.
Okay. And So you, what do you call? They take your name, and then of course they do their barista thing. So you sort of stand back. What are you doing as they're sort of, getting their stuff ready?
I'm trying to read the name, like casually read I'm assuming they're wearing name tags or something of the sort.
Yep.
I'm attempting to read the names of the employees.
Yeah, and they got there's a little button I think that has like a kind of hollow, light display kind of thing. They don't. None of the names are match up with any of the things you've seen.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. And there's people who are busily checking their phones and whatnot, and then the you finish trying to study all the staff. And then, fairly quickly, they've got it ready, and they call out from the other end, Zydeco?
Yeah, I'll go over and get my coffee.
So you go over, and as your hand is going down... you see an Omnix hand kind of grabs the mug at the glass at the same time as you.
Yeah.
And you look up. This is what he looks like, dressed like casual kind of young kid.
Yeah.
And he looks up. He's because you can hear his voice delivers as a he. Looks up and he says, "Now you don't look like a Zydeco."
Oh, sorry. Yeah, and I'll pull my hand away, like as if it's his coffee for sure.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And he looks and you see there's a little bit of like blinking of lights on the top of the eyes or the sensors on the top. And he says, "My mistake, sir." He puts it down and says, you can get a good view of the people coming and going from the station right over there. And he points to a table in the corner.
I'll take the coffee and I'll just go and sit in the seat that he indicated.
Okay. So you go over and you sit down, and there's a seat that sort of, it's one of those things that's near the corner. And you realize that when you get there, there's a seat that is sort of like, it's, as a military guy, it's like the worst possible seat you could take, because it faces right into the corner, and then like you can't see the door, you can't see the whole rest of the coffee shop,
right?
And but that's where the only seat is. So you walk up and you look at this thing. Am I correct in thinking like you're mulling over whether to move the chair or not?
I think that what I would do is I would turn on the camera on my device, on my phone or whatever, and I would use it like a rear view mirror. Like I would, sit down and drink my coffee, but like look like I'm looking at my phone, but really I would just be like,
I love it.
Essentially holding it over my shoulder. Like,
yeah. That's awesome. Okay, hold on. Let me. That sounds like a skullduggery check to me. Let me just get a. I'm gonna figure out what the difficulty would be. That's awesome. That's a great idea. Okay. Okay. Let me set the difficulty here. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so we need... Yeah, that's probably right. And then I'm not going to spend any story points on that. Do you think you have anything that gives you a boost to this? I don't think there's any... or is it just straight up your skill?
It's probably just his skill.
Okay.
I mean, experience, but I don't think that's necessarily like a boost thing. That's just...
Okay. So go right ahead.
There we go. I mean, this is the kind of stuff he's...
Nice! in spite of how hard it was. That's awesome.
Oh no,
goodness. 2 despairs though.
2 despair. That's amazing. So he does it, but it's like, wow.
So it's
that's incredible.
That is fantastic. All right, so first off, you do succeed though.
Yeah.
So it's not. Oh man. Okay, so let's check out despairs here.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
so are these social or combat? Which is the correct?
Probably social.
Okay, because then they're like it reveals like your motivations kind of thing. Like,
this is why I do wish I had taken the time to put them in, because I think it was interesting going through the 4 different motivations and really thinking about this character, like where in the fiction where the character is and then where it's going, because it gives you sort of like role-playing prompts for what you could play on, you know, in the way that some games make you think about the personalities of your characters or the traits of your characters.
Right.
You know, it's a cool mechanic. Okay, so one of them, I'm going to tell you, will be the active character becomes so embroiled in irrelevant events in the encounter that they cannot do anything important during the next round. That's going to apply when we transition from this to something else.
Okay.
And because I'm doing that and going outside of it, I'll use both despairs for that. So this gives me the prompt. This is, I think we've talked about this before, but like something I really love about the despair mechanic is it gives you the justification for DM bullshittery.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
There's lots of games where, you know, you have ways of trying to do that stuff, but this is a really, really cool way of doing it. It feels organic. And it feels like the players, because of your ability to modify difficulties and stuff like that, like you've got a way to mitigate against that.
Right.
Right. So.
Well, and you, in a sense, you know it's coming. Like, you know.
Yeah. Totally. Okay, so you sit down and again, like you did succeed though. So you're good to go here. So you sit down and. You're looking, and what you can see, walking along, with a coffee. I really should look and see whether Omnics eat. I really don't know. Because there's not like because again, like a lot of the world building stuff is stuff that they're not really like, you have to sort of pick it up through the fiction or whatnot. Someone walks over though and sits down.
I was gonna say, what I would add, they seem to have gone to an effort to humanize themselves. So even if they didn't quote unquote eat, there would probably be something they would consume at a place like a coffee shop.
Yeah. Like maybe there's some energy
or
thing
whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, to give a social kind of the same social buzz or whatnot.
Right, because they seem to have really picked up on like social stuff. So
what walks over and sits behind you? I've got 2 illustrations. I really couldn't decide. And there's a third one. Is an Omnic dressed in like a baby blue head to toe tracksuit, with complete with like trainers and whatnot on underneath, who looks kind of like this.
Nice.
And you can't quite see in that one, so I'll show you the other one. The extent of the ears.
Oh.
Yeah. So walks over and they're sort of moving as they move, and then they in a sort of like non-casual casual kind of way, like trying to look like wolf, slumps down behind you, and it says in a kind of not like a inflection free like robot voice, but you can't tell. It's an androgynous voice in this one. They're like this Omnic has decided not to go male or female.
Yeah.
Don't turn around, big man. Keep facing away. And you look down and you can see the things are sort of moving from one side to the other side. Who are you? Where'd you get that name?
I'm looking for my friend Eckhart.
You see them both sort of shoot up. You're a friend of Eckhart's?
That's right. A good friend. The kind who comes looking for him when he's gone missing.
Ooh. Ooh. Let's do this. Because I'm interested to see how the social mechanic system works in this. And this is, again, where I think the motivation mechanic in the game, which they didn't have in Star Wars, is something really interesting because you can get stuff to help frame the role playing.
Right, like what's the NPC's motive of the social interaction, and what's the PC's, and sort of
exactly. So the four motivations are desire, fear, strength, and flaw. So let's do this here. I've got the difficulty set where I want it right now. I think I'm gonna give a setback dice only because you can't see their face. So difficulty is currently 2 reds, 1 purple, 1 black, and this will be, I think, perception. Let's just check here. Wait.
Like, am I trying to see what they're?
Oh, you know what? No. Let's do this instead. I'm grabbing up the social interaction skills thing here. I'll use cool. I'm fucking up. I'm thinking of it in a different game's way of thinking that you're going to use like perception to see that. It's through the successes you get in the social skills. That's what gives you information, not a perception check.
Okay.
So
cool.
I've got, and I'm gonna take away. No, I'm not going to put a setback dice on it. So it's 1 red, 1 purple.
Nice. It's perfectly matched.
Rematch, Kate.
Here we go.
Okay.
It's wits versus wits. Oh.
Nice. With 1 threat. Okay. I think the threat I'm going to apply is strain. Just because this is a frustrating, exercise.
Yeah, exactly. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, just because as much as you're making some headway with this person, this is a really insufferable way of meeting, and it's what people with no experience with, with casual sort of meetups in a espionage format would think that you need to do, right?
Right. This is like you've seen a few, movies and you think you know how to do it. Yeah.
Exactly. So this person is, if not an amateur, I mean certainly not a pro for very long.
Yeah.
So you succeed though. So what that means is you get to apply. What is your skill rating in that? Just how many points in your skill you've got?
In cool?
Yeah.
Rank 1.
Rank 1. Okay, so that means you do 1 point. What it is once you reach half of their strain threshold, you can reach a compromise then. So what you want to think of is what is your goal in this? And then if you get your full, then you get it your way.
Right. Okay.
So that is 1, and there's no soak for this kind of encounter.
Right.
Okay. So he, they say back at you. Let's see, what do I want to do here? Well, what makes you think that we know anything about that? You're the one coming in sharing our names. You seem to know our friends.
I'll bring the card up.
Yep.
From my pocket or whatever, and I'll flip it around so that you can see that it's got the address of this coffee shop and Zydeco written on it.
Okay.
And I'll say, this is the last information that I received from him.
Okay. So I'm going to give a setback dice on their roll. They're rolling deception. What is your vigilance?
One of each.
One of each. Okay. So then... Oh, it's all set up perfectly. I'm not spending any store. Do I want to? Nah. I should spend story points sometime soon here, though. I think I'll complicate your next one. Yeah, let's do that. How do we do here?
Ooh, we succeeded.
Oh, a triumph as well. Okay. Triumphs and social encounters. Okay, so I think what... So I think they can see what they want out of you. For one, you're going to take 1 point of strain damage, just from their, them affecting you. Then he says, or they say, well, actually, and they're going to take a strain from this as well. They're moving towards compromise as well. Oh wait, and you rolled 2 successes. That should actually be added onto the thing. So you've actually done 4 points of strain to them, because the 2 points, and they add 1 to yours.
Right. Yeah.
They can say, "Are you looking to continue with what he was doing? Are you here to finish what he started?"
Oh. Can I try and read if he... Oh, yeah. I guess I don't get much read from this character, but can I try to read if he wants me to say yes or no before I answer? Or do I have to just answer?
I think you kind of have to feel, like right now you've where you are in the conversation, you haven't got there. You could try and stall. So you could try and do something different, like if you want to try and negotiate. I don't know.
Right.
If you don't have the skill, you just roll your flat stat.
I do have the name of this. Maybe I'll ask him. Are you a member? I'll answer with a question. Are you a member of the Undugu Wachituma or whatever? Sorry, I might pronounce that terribly.
Undugu Wachuma.
Wachuma, right?
Okay.
Undugu Wachuma.
Let me set the difficulty here. That sounds like charm. I'm gonna give you a boost on that again, because you're making good use of display. A good use of your knowledge on this. Can you think of anything else that would apply here?
Well, I'm not trying to be threatening at this point, so no, because I think I see this character as a lot more of an intimidator usually, and so.
Okay, so go ahead and give us a charm. That's what coercion is, incidentally. Coercion is the Genesys version of intimidate.
Oh, okay, yeah, charm.
Okay.
A medium. What? Oh,
nothing.
Oh, it's
all nets out.
Literally all nets out.
Now, 2 times, we're into our last half hour right now. Twice per session, you can spend a story point and re-roll.
Oh.
With a boost.
Right. Yeah, why don't we boost? Because we're getting right near the end.
Okay.
And then you can pour all those story points back at me to leave with a real dangerous.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so you got... go ahead and give us a re-roll. I've set your extra boost dice in.
Here we go. Yes.
Nice. And an advantage, too.
Nice.
So, let's see here. What can you pick up from this one? Recover
I can
strain?
Recover a strain. So, yeah, why don't I do that? This is me turning it back on him,
Yeah. Okay. So that's 1 success plus your skill in charm is 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then it is... Oh, wait.
No, sorry, it's a 0. Sorry,
it's a 0. Okay, so 1 point...
Yeah, charm is 0. Coercion's see, I have a 2. That's what I said. I feel like this character's intimidating.
Okay, so that's awesome. What this person then says is you can see They don't know that you're on your phone right now. So they say, check your phone. And you look at it, and there's like a blue kind of lattice work that runs across it. And then there is a picture. You can see like them within it.
Yeah.
And you don't need to, you've seen skilled hackers in action. And they say, my name is Link17. Who are you, really?
My name is Gabriel Reyes. Okay, sorry, this is like back character question before I would say this.
Yeah.
What is the historical position of Overwatch with the Omnis at this point, with the Omnics? Like, would I say that or not? Like, is that like saying I'm like the Grim Reaper, or I'm like...
No more, I mean, no, because they weren't like, I think you may find in fiction there might be like, people who believe that way, but it's not like... The
war wasn't with all of them. It was with a certain group of them.
Overwatch was seen as they weren't like an extermination force. They were trying to prevent the destruction by these rogue AIs, and the AIs are the ones that were, for the most part, dominating the Omnics.
Right. They were right. They were essentially like mind controlling them. So like,
yeah.
Right. Our enemy was almost sort of their enemy. They didn't necessarily want to be in a war either.
Like, there definitely are some Omnics who feel that way, who feel like, fuck the flesh bots kind of stuff. But a good chunk of the armies that were sent out were controlled by, phenomenally powerful AI that were able to dominate whole swaths of Omnics.
Okay, because then I think now is the moment. We've talked about this several times throughout this game tonight.
Yeah.
But I think now's the time when I would actually drop that and say I'm a member of Overwatch.
There's sort of a pause. The digital representation of Link 17, both ears sort of go up. And is that why? What business does Overwatch have with the Ndugu Wachuma?
I'm not sure yet. All I've received from Eckhart was their name, and I know he's missing here in the city.
What else?
What do you mean, what else? I'm here to find him.
Let me trade. I'm not with Ndugu Wachuma, but I can put you in touch with them if they want to see you. This is, again, showing up on your screen, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's set up a meeting. Do you think they have Eckhart?
I don't know, and it's not for me to say. Joko 10 could tell you. Hold on. And the image goes away, and the blue sort of goes back, and your camera goes back to what it was doing. And then you see it back on again, too. And you see there's like a digital version of, and it's like a chibi kind of thing, like a big oversized head with a teeny little body. It's like, let's just turn this off first. And it seems like they've noticed that you were trying to spy on them now. So that's fuck, that app doesn't seem to be working right now.
Yeah.
So there's a brief time where you're just sort of looking at your phone. You look outside, and the what's going through your mind right now? Like, how are you feeling out of your depth? Are you feeling like you're getting your footing now? Are you feeling in danger?
Well, I mean, I was just going to say, like, I think that, like, since his phone, he's been really focused on this conversation on his phone. And I think as soon as that app goes off, his immediate reaction is to, like, he knows those guys are out there and after him, and he doesn't know if Lynx is calling in backup or what. So like he is now scanning the environment outside the, like taking the lay of the land. Like, like you said, there's lots of sniper positions. Like he is now in combat mode essentially. Like, so.
Okay. So you are, you're taking in sort of the entire outside. And again, it's just, there's, I think that scene that I shared before, you maybe see something if not that very moment, something very much like that play out where like one of the OR-15s is sort of like, I think they're not called I can't remember if it's called OR-15. There's a character you're asked about the Omnics, so there is another Omnic character, Orisa. Orisa, that character that you see right there, is a sentient version of the OR-15s that was developed by this genius, like, kid inventor from Numbani. And she's like the champion of Numbani in the same way that, like, in the game, Morrison, Soldier 76, is the back alley sort of protector of this city called Dorado. Yeah. But anyway, so there is. I've totally forgot about Orisa. Anyway, there's a brief. You're sort of looking out and you see all this stuff going on. It's just this seems like a remarkably happy place. Like people seem to be thriving here, and it's so far away from that. There's maybe a brief moment, as you're appreciating it, where once again, there's that memory of the war.
Right.
50 miles away from here. And then you're brought back when the phone, once again, flashes blue. Zydeco will take you. Samira Hill is not far. And you look over, and Zydeco is sort of standing up next to you with, whatever the energy version, the Omnic version of the coffee. He says, "Yeah, I got it to go.
Let's make haste."
Okay, so you get up, and how do you leave here? You walk past, and I think Link 17, as you get up and go past, does this kind of like
right
hide the face, but
totally.
You'll never the giant baby blue tracksuit, the ears or whatnot. Yeah, it would be hard to forget that character.
So can the bike I have ride two people?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay,
I mean, you'll be doubling them,
Yeah, of course.
And Zydeco's pretty small as well.
Yeah. I'd just say, are you comfortable on a bike?
Okay. He looks and says, looks you up and down. Of course you drive a bike. And it's at that moment that you sort of see it's weird. There's like lights on him that sort of go down to form a triangle. You have a split second to decide, is the shot going on him or is the shot going on you?
Yeah. Right. Oh, I shove him.
Because and you guys are in the shop right now too.
Yeah.
Give me a sec here. Actually, I don't need a sec. I can eyeball this, I think. All right, so this is a very long shot here. But this is a skilled
sniper
marks person, yep. And I'll spend a story point. Let's get an upgrade on this sucker. You heal pretty good, so not too worried about another one. And you got the name of a doctor. Incidentally, like that, the whole hacking thing that Link 17 did, that's like crazy good.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
If you need someone to do hacking for you, this is, she would be she should be like up there with the top of your your list of people to call.
Well, and I kind of imagine that like my device may look like a standard issue, but it is not.
Oh, you totally.
Issue.
There's like layers of security protocols and stuff in there, and they treated it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
They might have well have been using it like as if it's a walkie-talkie. Now, let's see here. So I did my upgrade. I did my other stuff. I just need to check the damage for a sniper rifle, which would be a heavy thing. One thing I appreciate with the game as well that I did not appreciate last time we ran it is that like whatever setting you're playing in, that's just that's providing the range of like lightly damaging, heavily damaging gear. It doesn't need to scale up beyond that range. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Oof. 8 with a critical range of 3. Let's see.
Well, it's a hit.
After all that, only a hit with 1 advantage.
It needed 3 advantage for the critical, right? So you're saying?
I need 3 advantage to trigger a critical, so that is 10 points of damage, but your armor would protect. Oh! I did not include. Oh, you don't have your armor smoking and whatever else, right?
No, I wouldn't be walking around.
Let me just hand roll. I've got them here anyway. I'm just hand roll 1 setback, because you still, even in spite of that, you still should get your setback dice for your defensive thing.
Oh, right.
And that's complication. So I don't have an advantage. It's just 2.
It's just 10 damage.
Just 10 damage. So you take 5 points as your
it hits
hammer.
Me. Yeah.
Yep. So the window here smashes, and then we are going to roll initiative. So let me get initiative tracker up here. We're going to switch to our fighting tunes as well. Oh, shoot. Your despair comes in now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, you know what? That's my sniper attack. You didn't get a chance to roll initiative or whatnot, so we'll use it that way. So now we're going to roll initiative. Now, Zydeco will act on your turn. Let me clear this out. You go ahead and roll initiative for yourself, and I'll spend a story point on mine just so we can get more in your pool. Again.
So this is cool now.
This is vigilance, because you did not know that a fight was going to break out.
Oh, it's only the second round that it's...
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think it actually continues on. I think it's sort of like like however you went into this, because like in vigilance.
Oh, it's how you do it.
Yeah,
okay,
you're scrambling and trying to respond each round, right?
I mean, mine are exactly the same, so it doesn't really matter. But...
Okay, nice.
Oh, good roll.
Let me roll for them. Yeah, that's probably it. And I used a story point, so I'll upgrade this sucker. Nope. That's hot garbage. Let me roll for Zydeco. He'll just be rolling 2 greens.
Oh, right, because successes overpower the advantages.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Successes always trump. So you and Zydeco will go before this. So you got 2 hero slots, then you've got the sniper. So you can command Zydeco at this point.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell him to take cover.
Okay. You can do that for free. So if you want him to go
like
first,
his action would be like to move and try and find somewhere to, like behind a counter or
I think what he yells out, "Try and stop me!" And he like runs to the far end of the coffee shop. People are screaming and whatnot, and he dives behind. So he's got full cover from this now. What do you want to do with your turn?
I'm gonna turn. I want to scan where the shot came from and see if I can see the location of the shooter.
Okay, so let's see here. I can't remember if that's a maneuver. Perform a skill check as an action. Let's just make sure that there's not a maneuver. Yeah, so it'd be an action to try and spot the sniper.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Okay, so let me get the dice pool set up here. It'll be their stealth, which will be 3. Oh, you know what? Because this is an adversary. Oh, only combat checks. Let me double check something. Let's find the first one here. I love the adversary thing because in combat it means there's always an upgrade on the attacks against them. So it gives that, like, one of the troubles I found with Star Wars before is that to try and ever trigger red dice, I'd have to continually be spending story points or force points, and you run out of that at certain points. What an adversary does is it automatically gives an upgrade. So it already gives it into that, like, dramatic territory. So I really love that mechanic. This is
right, but the question is, does it include skill checks?
I don't think it does because skill checks are always contested, which means there's always red dice in there anyway. I think it's only combat. Right. It's a doubly smart. I love that. I love it. Okay, I think, and I've got one from cover. I'm good here. It's 1 black, 1 purple, 2 reds. How are you feeling about that?
Well, I have 1 yellow and 3 greens, so it's actually pretty close to even here. Okay. Do you want? I think I'm going to take a different action if I can't see them. So, like, I think this is sort of like a decision point of, like, do I see them or not?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, do you want to spend that story point to get an upgrade?
No, because I think it's like.
We'll see how it goes.
Do I fight or do I run?
Yeah.
Well, if I see them, I fight. If I don't see them, I run. So I don't need to make a story point to, like. You
have to lean it in one way or the other. That's a great way of thinking of it.
Here we go.
Oh, only 1 threat. I'm going to give +1 blue to the +1 boost to their next attack. So you've left yourself, but you've looked. That's your action. You can't see where where they are. What would you like to do with your maneuver? You 1 maneuver for free, and you could spend 2 strain, take another one.
I'm going to use my. I'm going to use my teleportation.
Where are you going?
So, like, somewhere, like, where, like, I mean, Jeff doesn't know, and I was obviously not standing there.
Yeah.
But, like, Reyes would know a position, like, a sniper takes a position for a shot. Like, they have a good line of sight to where they just shot at me. So I would be moving to somewhere that would have, like, a completely different. So like
if you're in here, it could be like, say that.
Yeah, like up over there or underneath that little roof there, where, sort of ahead of where that blue van is, you know, inside the doorway of the train station, something like that. Like, so, you know, a completely different angle would be required. So they either have to move to get a shot on me, or so you fade out once again, and then crosses his arms.
Okay, awesome. Then on their turn, so they're gonna have to try and find you again.
Yeah, they have to, like, try and spot me.
What is your what's your stealth?
My stealth is 1 yellow and 2 green.
Okay, 1 yellow, 2 green. Okay. And I'll use that boost dice for this.
Yeah.
Can't see ya. So then they're going to have to spend a maneuver to try and get in a different position.
That's what I was hoping for, basically.
So you can hear the sound of a grappling hook. Someone's pulled up. So someone's maneuvering up there among the towers. And this is over the sound of the screams and whatever else. And, like, you know, people are running away. And you think you can hear the sound of the OR-15s maneuvering from somewhere else to come over here.
That would be like the police?
That would be the police, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, and I do not want to interact with them, so...
Okay. So what... let's do one more round. So that's the end of that round. Let's clear turns. All right. Go ahead and make your... Let me clear out the Game Master sheet here. cleared. Go ahead, make your check. I'll make... You know what? I can... Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, nice.
Holy smokes, that's great. There we go. I can condense down my character sheet so it's not taking up the whole damn screen. Can I condense that too? No. All right. Okay. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Oh, right, I upgraded last time, that's why. Okay. And I'm just going to roll. So 2. So you are definitely up first. What do you want to do?
Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this like a little bit cleared off of... or was this only once per session?
Once per encounter. You could do the teleport.
Yeah, the teleportation. No, but the other thing, the spend the point to like.
Oh, your the Death Blossom?
No, the mobile.
Oh, mobile is you just need to spend a charge in order to do it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna for next time we play, I'll be back to 0 charges. But like, I think this is a case of like he hears the sirens coming, and he realizes that like he doesn't want to get in a shotgun fight with a sniper while the police are here. So it's like, he kind of smokes out of there, and so it's like he's so
you could if you're taking sort of a back alley, people again, you're seeing like people are kind of ducking out of the way of you. You sort of manifest behind the counter where Zydeco has hidden.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm imagining. Like, go get Zydeco and
So you guys crawl, and again, you've already prepped that thing, so your exit is set. One maneuver, you get out, and Zydeco says, "Who was that? Who's shooting us?"
I thought maybe you would know.
I don't usually get shot at. Do you?
Often.
And you sort of like you grab him by the the hoodie and kind of like and pull him along. And you heading off to grab the bike is where we'll leave our session.
Escaping on the bike
that's awesome.
As the cops pour in.
Yeah. And somewhere up above, a as yet unknown sniper too. Yeah. So, boom. So I started with the Overwatch thing for this one, but I will. I love that illustration, and it just all fits well together. Jeffrey, it's been a long time since we have played Genesys. What do you think of Overwatch Genesys?
It's awesome. I like it a lot. I like the things about the system that I remember I like. I always had a blast playing the Star Wars version. Oddball is still one of my favorite characters, and it was a lot of fun. The dice give you lots of opportunity for creative role playing, and that's sort of what I always enjoy.
Definitely.
The Overwatch world is really cool, and the character is Reaper one of your favorite characters?
Reaper is. I'm not very good with Reaper. I don't play the character a lot, but it's my favorite character.
Character creation. Yeah,
character-wise.
I mean, like, I know. I kind of when you said that he becomes a bad guy, I kind of knew which. He's one of the most iconic characters.
Absolutely,
bad guys wise. Like
he's the first character I played in Overwatch. Yeah. Like I tend to be a Junkrat player because I'm a cheeseball. But I love Reaper. I think the character is such a cool set. I wish I was better at him than what I am.
He definitely plays really excitingly in a game like this. He's, I think the comparisons to like Batman level of superhero is pretty apt.
Absolutely. Well, like just to give you a context for the other two characters. So like Cole Cassidy, or the character used to be named Jesse McCree, but then with all the revelations about Blizzard, Jesse McCree was named after a designer who was like a god tier creep, so they renamed the character to Cole Cassidy instead. Genji, I also really honestly, Steve's favorite character is Cassidy, aka McCree. Steve used to play it like every time he'd fucking play that character. And Genji, I really like playing Genji quite a bit as well. I'm actually not bad with Genji. But the thing with these characters is that, like with Cassidy, his stuff, like his ultimate is once per session, you remove one difficulty or one challenge. So either one difficulty die or one challenge die and one setback die from a roll after you roll a ranged light attack for 2 rounds straight. So after you roll, then you'd be like, let's take that one away, let's take that one away. So 1 red, 1 black, 1 purple. Because in the game, he has this cool thing where he can headshot you instantly. You do this thing called, and like everywhere in the map you hear saying it's high noon, and then everyone is like, fuck, get behind cover, because he'll one-shot you or get behind a shield. His stuff is all about like triggering crits quickly and easily, as opposed to your thing. And then he's also got a neat ability to get out of, to disengage very quickly. Spend 2 strain and disengage from all allies. So if he's in a crowd of people, he's out. Genji's thing is that he can redirect. So 2 times per session, spend 2 charges to redirect a range attack that damages you at the back of the attacker as an incidental and do double damage.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then because those characters, your character was built as, I can't remember what the archetype was, but it's what gives you the lucky thing, the reroll. Their comparable ability is conditioned reflexes. Once per session, you may spend a story point during combat to take an extra out-of-turn action, which can be an attack.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And each of the different like builds has a similar kind of thing. These low-scale, neat kind of quasi. They're not powers.
It'd be a lot of fun to try and make your own character, and like you said, like, build your own little superhero kind of thing.
Absolutely. It's a cool, and like, because of you've got such an interesting setting too, there's just tons of ideas you could draw on. And there's also, like, because the game's been around for 5 years now, 6 years, 6-year anniversary I think now, there's the internet is fucking loaded with fan created pictures of characters and stuff like that. Yeah, like not just fan versions of these characters, like their own sort of heroes.
Right.
So there's lots of really cool stuff you could use as inspiration for it.
Well, and like you said, like it also fits the sensibilities of a few other things. Like you could easily use art from a cyberpunk game or anything like that as well. Like any sort of near future,
definitely
gunslinger type game.
And because of the technology level and the fact that it's a sci-fi setting and whatnot too, basically the stats for anything from any of my Star Wars books or my Android book or whatever, I can use all that stuff in this gear, whatever else, because it's sort of a comic booky level of technology. But the other neat thing, Genji has this ability called parkour, which, similar to your teleportation, can spend 1 strain to move to any location in short range as a maneuver. So it just scampers up walls, or spend 4 strain anywhere within medium range.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So the character in the game can scamper up walls and shit like that. But, like, again, a neat kind of like low-powered, superpower kind of thing that other characters can't do.
Right. Yeah, it's called parkour, but it's very much, it reminds me of like the samurai movies, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, like where they run up the bamboo or whatever. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, he's also got a neat. Genji's got a thing called Rapid Reaction. Suffer 3 strain to add 3 successes to a vigilance or cool check to determine initiative.
Oh, so if you really want to go first.
Yep.
You can force it.
And it's also because it doesn't require him to go, it just makes the roll. So if you need an ally to go first too, it's a great teamwork thing.
Right.
In addition to, he does have an advantage because he does 2 extra damage for the first attack when he draws his blade in the first time in a combat. This is way of the blade kind of ability, so. Yeah, but anyway, cool.
We might get a chance to play this some more, so.
And we'll see if what I can say is I for sure want to run more Genesys. I reading through the stuff again. I can't remember why I decided to pick up the books again, but like reading through it again really got me thinking about the fun we had with the Star Wars games back in the day. And then,
so is the core Genesis system, you could just lay any world you want onto it, or
any
what?
world you want, yep. And then there are source books for it. There's the core book for it. There is a expanded player's guide that's really like more of a DM's guide. It's got a bunch of extra like setting. The core book and the extra book have very bare bones rules for different settings. So like sci-fi or whatever, but there's not really. You'd have to do a fair amount of work to flesh out those things. But there is the one I was looking at is Android Shadow of the Beanstalk, which is set in the same world as the Netrunner card game. And I got the setting. They released this game mechanics free setting book for it. They've also released something for their I can't remember I think it's Descent are the board games, but there's a Realms of Terranoth fantasy setting that expands greatly the rules for fantasy, which is great because like it adds some better clarification on sort of how to run fantasy. I don't know if you remember that one shot we played with. You were playing a mage in San Francisco. That one they give a lot more rules for sort of how to build a fantasy type setting with that one, and then they released this one called Keyforge. It's this multi-genre card game that Fantasy Flight puts out. I'm not really interested in the setting for it, but what this has is the full set of rules for building species. So building your custom race that you want your character to come from.
Oh, yeah.
So that's really cool. So like if you want to, like I want to play a werewolf character. Okay, well, we can build you a werewolf character or a lupine character or like whatever thing. I want to build a floating, talking gas swarm thing.
Right. So the system is like really well laid out for like a session 0 where you're not just deciding like what the characters are going to be, but like what world do we want to play in? Like, let's play in a near future sci-fi with horror elements. Like we want,
One thing Genesys does that Star Wars didn't. Star Wars, you may remember, had that like decision tree for picking all your abilities and stuff as you went along, and a lot of them ended up being situational, like add a dice here, take a dice away there, or whatever else. So it was kind of, I don't know. I wasn't crazy about that stuff. Genesys does not have a tech tree or anything like that. What they have is ranked tiers of your abilities, but you just have to have more of the lower tier than your higher tier. So you could buy 2 tier 1 things, and then you can buy a tier 2 thing. Then you got to have 3 tier 1 abilities, and then you can have 2 tier 2 abilities, and then you could buy a tier 3 ability.
Right. It's just a pyramid. It just has to hold the weight of
exactly. So it's a lot more flexible in that way. They've the abilities seem to be more flavorful than just the flat, like some of the static ones that were like ignore a black dice, or whatever. Increase the things that were early on in a lot of the Star Wars tech trees were kind of boring, and they've
I found that like it took
like
quite a few levels before you got some interesting stuff.
And it feels like you can get to the more interesting stuff fairly early in this game. And then like for these ones too, like these characters were each built with an extra 200 XP. And on average, they recommend, I think it's 20 XP. So these are characters who, 20, it's between 15 and 20 XP. So these characters are built on, between 10 and 15 sessions worth of XP.
And you know what? I don't think that the way the game plays, you can play that level no problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like I said, like it made it fun. He's sort of like a bat. It's like playing Batman or somebody. Like you're just very capable, but you're not untouchable. I mean, I had to flee from basically both fights so far. Well, I mean, just because they weren't ideal conditions, right? Like,
exactly. So, and I think that it doesn't with the adversary system now too. Like you can have tense and challenging fights where it's not just one thing steamrolling. I think it's a. I really enjoyed. I enjoyed putting the characters together for this. I enjoyed prepping this, and I absolutely love the setting. Like, I've been wanting to run an RPG session set in Overwatch for a very long time. So this
it's the one thing I would say Blizzard does such a good job of is their world building is very well done.
Well, and it fits this particular the Venn diagram of what is Overwatch. I do enjoy the game quite a bit as well, but like, even for the setting, like, to want to run a quasi superhero kind of setting, but also indulge in like geopolitical kind of espionage stuff, and also have being a sci-fi kind of thing, like, it ticks a lot of boxes for something different from what the other games we typically run.
Right, like, Tolkien fantasy stuff.
Yeah, totally. Tolkien fantasy, so it's great.
Or whatever you
stuff.
Want to call it, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, again, a big thank you to the author, who, again, his name is credited in two different ways. I think JJ's Game Workshop, I think, is his Twitter handle. Thank you so much for putting together such a terrific set of rules. I've had so much fun prepping and running this thing, so that is great. So that is, I think, brings us to the end of our session. So for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for this first session of the Iron Brotherhood in Genesys Overwatch, or the Overwatch RPG. I don't know what we would call it. In any event, as is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, there's a link down below to... I have a bunch of links down below. One, you can find... Oh, boy. I printed them off because I really liked them that much, but you can find the full set of rules here. Look how thick they are. 120 pages, I think? Yeah, 125 pages. Full sets of rules you can find at that link down below. You can also find a link to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have channels dedicated to most games we run on the channel, as well as every campaign we have going on, as well as a bunch of other great channels, and got a bunch of great people on there, and you're more than welcome to join us over there. Terrific community with who are quite helpful as well. In addition, there is a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really great organization, active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. For every $25, or I guess first off, any money donated through that link goes directly to the SOS Children's Villages International Charity. None of it goes to any middleman or in the channel. It all just goes to help the kids who benefit from those services, including ongoing emergency relief efforts in the Ukraine at the time of recording. There is also a small way of us saying thank you to those who donate through that link. For every $25 Canadian that you donate, you will get one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. Next charity raffle will be, it'll be second week of June sometime. I haven't set a date for it yet. Forgive me, it was set for a time before the beginning of June, but I forgot that I'm going to be on vacation during that time, and I'm not going to do the draw while I'm out of town. So we'll be doing that when we get back, but the grand prize in that raffle will be a copy of Beadle and Grimm's Platinum Edition Wild Beyond the Witchlight Adventure. It's gorgeous box set full of just an amazing amount of stuff, including the full Wild Beyond the Witchlight Adventure, a bunch of supplementary material and whatnot. Retails for about $500 US at new, and they have very generously donated a copy for us to raffle off as our grand prize. Second prize is a copy of Beadle and Grimm's brand new gold edition Absalom City of Lost Omens. I did an unboxing of that recently. You can find that on the channel. It is my favorite city box set that I've ever read. It's an amazing product that takes all the content of the Absalom book recently released by Paizo and expands greatly with a ton of terrific handouts to make the job of bringing that amazing city to life all the easier and a much richer experience. So that'll be our second prize. If you don't win those, we still have a bunch of other prizes, including a full set of the most recently released Iron Kingdoms 5th edition books donated by Jeffrey here. We have a chainmail dice bag crafted by our resident armorsmith, Dave. Dave has very generously donated a trilogy of titles, the Player's Handbook, Dungeon Master's Guide, and Monstrous Manual for Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition, something we run a lot on the channel. There's also some other great prizes donated by the community, donated by, I'm going to kick in some stuff, and then we're also having some things from our Dungeon Musings Redbubble shop, including some t-shirts, some posters, some mugs, and water containers or whatever. So lots of great prizes and lots of ways for us to say thank you. The last thing I'll mention is that we also have a link down below. If you are in the market for some out-of-print books or some brand new games as well, our friends at Noble Knight Games, the preeminent retailer of out of the U.S., the largest supplier of out-of-print RPGs in North America, they have very generously shared with us a discount code. So if you purchase $10 or more through their website, which you can find a link to down below, and you enter the code at checkout, Dungeon Muser, you will save 10% on your purchase, and that stacks with any sale they've got going on. I have forgotten on a recent purchase to enter that, so do not do as I do. Be sure to enter the code Dungeon Muser, save yourself 10% on your purchase. And a big thank you to our friends at Noble Knight Games for generously sharing that with us. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to Jeffrey. Jeffrey, since I got this bee in my bonnet, I've been so excited to run this session. I've been wanting to run Overwatch. As I said, like it's prompted like 3 different relapses into running champions because I thought that would be the best system for this. Man, this does such a good job of capturing what I was picturing as a as an Overwatch experience in role-playing. And that is a huge credit. This system relies a lot on engaged and inventive players, so I really appreciate you throwing yourself into this one. This was a shit ton of fun to run.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. All right, then. So for those listening at home, thank you so much once again for joining us in the world of Overwatch. We will be back next Friday with hopefully another session of our Starfinder campaign, but possibly not. We'll play it by ear. Until then, we hope that we've given you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that are developing in the city of Numbani. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.